That doesn't look right.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again. This is a recording.
I'm trying. Oh, I will. I always do. Kids staring at each other, doing stupid kid stuff, or maybe somebody just liked the way old Nightshade looked and wanted him for himself. I don't know.
Nightshade?
That was its name, Nightshade. Kessler gave all of his horses names, painted them on their bridles. Not anymore, I don't.
You don't have it?
Gerald Trent was kind of an oddball, you know what I mean? So when he gave me the book, I said I'd hang on to it just to humor him. As soon as he died, I pitched it. You mean you had one made?
No, I mean I made it.
No kidding. The pipe's in front. Who's Amelia?
Oh, never mind.
Sorry. Nah, not really. I just kind of glanced through it. He said it was a book he and his kid used to read. But hey, Gerald Trent was dead. I never met the kid, and the book was boring. So what was the point? You just set the new dowel in place, stick in the paper roll, spool the first part of the paper roll onto the dowel, and turn her on. You must be a real smart gal.
Mostly, I'm just stubborn.
Well, stubborn's good. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Well, you'd have to watch and see which pipe's air comes out of, and in what order, I suppose. Each pipe is labeled with the note it plays, so you just need some way to see the air coming out of the pipes. Yeah, that's right.
So the best way for me to figure out what the notes in the melody are would be to record which pipes air comes out of and in what order.
That's right. Each pipe is labeled with the note it plays. You just need a way to see the air coming out of the pipes. Holy moly! I either snagged a greyhound bus or the biggest fish in the Chapleau River is right here on the end of my line. I'm sorry, hon, I gotta go. That's right. 18, 9, 39. That's a combination. Oh, and one more thing. You're gonna have a problem when you go to load the roll on account of... It's in the cabinet in the gear room. You bet. Just flip the switch from CD to roll. Of course, you're gonna need roll 3, ain't you? I got no idea what song's on the third roll. Only way you're gonna find out is to play it. You'd have to know Ms. Santos. Yeah, I get your point. Problem is, I didn't drive 900 miles into the Canadian wilderness to call my boss. Anyway, I can't help you. How do I know you even know Miss Santos? I haven't got time for long stories. Besides, so why are you calling me? I run the Carousel. I don't know from coasters.
Well, to make a long story short, I need to find out the name of the band organ song that's on the third roll.
What for? Tink here.
Hi, Nancy Drew again.
Now what? This is Tink.
Hi, it's Nancy Drew. Did you land that fish?
I don't want to talk about it. That answer your question? This is Tink.
Yes, hello. My name is Nancy Drew.
Never heard of you.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to help Ms. Santos figure out what caused the roller coaster accident that shut down Captain's Cove.
Yeah, this is Tink.
Yes, hello. My name is Nancy Drew.
Never heard of you.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to help Ms. Santos figure out what caused the roller coaster accident that shut down Captain's Cove.
This is Tink. Sorry, I'm busy fishing, which means you're gonna have to call me back.
I already left one message. No need to leave another.
This is Tink. Sorry, I'm busy fishing, which means you're gonna have to call me back.
Hi, my name is Nancy Drew. My number is 523-555-4399. If you could call me back, I'd really appreciate it.
This is Tink. Sorry, I'm busy fishing, which means you're gonna have to call me back.
I'll try again later.
Always happy to share my mental wealth. Call again anytime. Glad to help. The pleasure was all mine. Oh, yes, I've been called in to authenticate horses that turned out to be mere replicas at least a dozen times in my career. Of course I do. At least, I thought I did. It was an Austrian term of endearment, rather common. Oh, come on, Anton, think. Yes, what a wonderfully romantic piece of nonsense. Well, the thief would probably get a middleman to set up a bidding war between several buyers in order to get the highest price. The internet comes in very handy in such matters. Depending on its condition, whether it's an inside horse or an outside horse, whether it's the lead horse, anywhere from $80,000 to well over $100,000.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yes, I did, and I thought, how odd. Because, you see, I'd gotten a call from someone about a month prior to that asking me how much I thought one of those horses would be worth.
Really? Do you have any idea who it was that called?
We're talking about the black market, my dear. Great works of art get stolen by thieves and bought by less than scrupulous collectors all the time. Some forgers will make several copies of the same horse. I remember a case where 3 people claimed to have the exact same loof. Interestingly enough, all 3 of them were fakes. Spazi! That was it! Spazi! Spatzi. He always called her Spatsy. Someone wants publicity. Whoever stole the horse wants people to know that it's gone so that when he or she goes to sell it, there will be a whole slew of eager buyers.
But we're talking about stolen property. Are you saying people would willingly buy something they know was stolen?
No, the one at Captain's Cove is a first. But I think I know what's going on. As a matter of fact, I do. I think that the outside horse just behind the chariot, the place where you can sit instead of ride, it's traditionally the most ornately carved horse on the carousel, hence the most valuable. Yes, it is, but Kessler carved horses for only 5 carousels in his lifetime, so not only is each horse exquisitely beautiful, but it's very rare, especially if it's the lead horse.
The lead horse?
None whatsoever. He never gave me his name, nor did he say where he was calling from. The thought that I may have actually encouraged someone to mutilate a work of art. Oh.
Well, seeing as you're pretty much an expert on Kessler as well as carousels, I was hoping you could answer a question for me.
I'd be delighted.
Well, seeing as you're pretty much an expert on Kessler as well as carousels, I wondered if you could answer a question or two for me.
I'd be delighted. Sukov.
My name is Nancy Drew. I saw the article you wrote about Rolf Kessler in the Collector's Hot Sheet magazine.
That was several months back, but go on. Sukov.
Hi, Nancy Drew again.
More questions? Fire away. Sukov.
Hi, it's Nancy Drew again. I have another question for you about Rolf Kessler. A very important question.
Let's hear it. Sukov.
This is Nancy Drew again. I hate to keep bugging you.
Please, no need to apologize. I teach college. Genuine curiosity, as opposed to grade-grubbing obsequiousness, is something I never discourage. What would you like to know?
You'd better. I'll be waiting. Good. Call me anytime.
Oh no, I forgot to turn it off.
When I asked you to come out here, I expected to pay for your room, not the entire hotel. Consider yourself off the case.
Hello?
Hi, Nancy. It's Paula Santos. I was wondering when I'd hear from you. Have you been out to the park?
Yes, I have.
I forgot to tell you, you were electrocuted?
That's what Harlan said must have happened. I was out cold when he found me.
I can't afford to have you blundering around the park getting into accidents, Nancy. My insurance rates are high enough. In other words, you're off the case. According to Ingrid, you not only fried that particular card reader, but you short-circuited the entire system. She says it'll take days to repair the damage, maybe even weeks.
Oops, guess I really blew it, as it were.
I'm not in the mood for lame jokes, Nancy, nor am I in the mood for paying for any more of your mistakes. So guess what? You're off the case. Which, of course, is why I invited you out here. I realize you're not a professional, but I'm really counting on you, Nancy. He was married? That's news to me. And a bit of a surprise. I heard that nobody could stand the guy. The police said there was a good chance more jewels would turn up. No, come to think of it, I don't think I've ever even met a stenographer. Now that we're in the computer age, stenography has pretty much become extinct. Sure, Tink Obermeyer operates the Carousel. Real protective of it. When it was vandalized, it almost broke his heart. Loves the band organ, too. Right now, he's up in Canada fishing. What, that he's an ex-con? I know, I didn't see any harm. He loved to putter, especially in the haunted house. Wonderful imagination, but when it came to dealing with reality, barely knew where to begin. You mean someone stole it because they thought there were jewels stashed inside it? Wow, that's really interesting. Maybe you should tell the police. Every time I call, I get the same thing. Someone will be out soon. Which is why I'd really like you to take a look, Nancy. No telling when they'll get around to it. I think it was just a bunch of kids who felt like vandalizing something. Sounds like a maintenance problem. Go see Ingrid. I'm sure she can help you. The part about being sued is true, but I don't think the guy got hurt. I think he's just saying that so he can try to squeeze money out of our insurance company. I have no idea. You really shouldn't go in there unless it's absolutely necessary. Parts of that building are very old, almost rickety. You need to be very careful. Really? Don't lose it. I'd like to take a look at it. Kessler was quite a character. Yes, Harlan told me. Go ahead and keep it, but don't lose it. I'd like to take a look at it. Kessler was apparently quite a character. Oh, now that's disturbing. But I'm still going to give Harlan the benefit of the doubt until I have good reason not to. I appreciate your bringing this to my attention, though. It was the first thing out of his mouth when he applied for the job. He said being an outstanding security guard would prove to everyone once and for all that he's gone straight.
I also found out that he used a security camera to get the code to Ingrid's work area, and he fits the description of the jewel thief's cellmate that Detective Paris gave me.
And you've broken how many bones?
Let's just say it's going to be a while before I can resume my investigation.
You were supposed to put an end to these accidents, not cause more of them. In case you hadn't guessed, you're off the case. You got hit by a moving roller coaster?
My foot was stuck and I couldn't get out of the way.
How could your foot get stuck? Are your feet that big?
No, someone trapped my foot and started the coaster up deliberately.
You're in the hospital with a piece of wood in your eye?
Several pieces, actually, but the doctors got most of them out. I used Elliot's lathe without wearing eye protection. Never do that again.
Why were you using Elliot's lathe?
I was making a new dowel for the band organ.
I'm beginning to think being cursed is nothing compared to having you around. You're off the case. Why were you crawling around under the carousel?
I was investigating.
It's not like it was going 90 miles an hour. Why didn't you get out of the way?
I guess I just didn't move fast enough. But don't worry, those jumper shafts didn't make any holes, just big round bruises.
Great. I asked you here to solve a mystery, and you wind up looking like a giant piece of Swiss cheese. Just have those paramedics drop you off at the airport, okay? You're off the case. You were unconscious for how long?
I'm not sure. Whatever fell on my head also fell on my arm and broke my watch.
I can't afford any more accidents, Nancy. And since you seem to be rather accident-prone, well, let's just say you're off the case. You're in the emergency room?
I fell off the carousel. I was trying to grab the brass ring and reached too far.
You were what?
It's kind of a long story. Uh-oh, I have to hang up now. They want to x-ray my head.
I should probably come down there and have my head examined too. What was I thinking, asking you to play detective? Well, I know what I'm thinking now. You're off the case.
Oh no, I forgot to turn it off.
You're at an amusement park, not a formal dance. What on earth were you ironing?
A piece of paper.
A what? No, never mind, I don't want to hear it. When I asked you to come out here, I expected to pay for your room, not the entire hotel. Consider yourself off the case. The man who was in charge of the investigation back then, Detective K.J. Paris, it just so happens that he's a friend of mine. In fact, as soon as I hang up, I'm going to call him and tell him to call you. I think you're onto something. All the rides are shut down except for the carousel. I thought you might need to see it in action. But please, take a good look at the roller coaster, even if you can't ride it.
Hello?
This is Paula Santos. I'm standing outside what's left of the Captain's Quarters Hotel.
What happened?
Well, according to the fire marshal, someone left an iron-on in your room and burned the place down. Not that I know of. But it's possible that people have found other stashes and just never said anything. Not everyone's as honest as that one kid was, I'm afraid. You know. Good. Let me know what you find out. The whole thing with the carousel starting up like that all by itself, it was just too freaky. I'm almost glad the insurance company shut us down. I want to know what's going on. As a matter of fact, we did. 30% increase over last year. I should have been thrilled, but I wasn't. I don't know. Maybe they wanted it for a prank. The police think it could still turn up, although they warn me that if it does, it probably won't be in very good shape. Actually, the ballroom was made into the haunted house about 40 years ago. So Kessler had a workshop under there. It was probably destroyed during the renovation. At least I've never heard anyone say anything about it. If it is still there, I'm sure there's nothing in it but cobwebs a mile thick. Not really. I've just heard he was a very dark and dreary sort of guy, bit of a nutcase. Believed that the horses he carved were extensions of his soul, that sort of thing. Harlan will be watching for you. Oh, and from now on, call me Paula. I can't wait to hear what you turn up. Call me as often as you like. My phone's on and with me 24/7. Oh, and one more thing. Call me Paula. They looked around for 5 minutes, then left. Said as long as the insurance company was going to investigate, why should they? Great. Feel free to inspect the tracks all you want. I'm sure you'll do a better job than the police. You're all set. I told the guard at the main gate to keep an eye out for you. His name's Harlan Bishop. I called the detective that was in charge of the investigation back then. His name is K.J. Paris. He's going to call you. Oops, I gotta run. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Not that I know of. But then there's a lot of dishonest people out there. Somebody else may have found something and just never reported it. Anyway, my thoughts exactly. They're a little piece of park history. The guy in the photo found a bunch of jewels that had been stolen in a heist years ago and stashed away on one of the rides at Captain's Cove.
Hello?
Hi, Nancy. It's Paula Santos. You know, I just had a thought. There's a newspaper article and photo in Joy's office that I want you to be sure to take a look at. They're in a frame on the wall. I really couldn't tell you. She has never said one word to me about her father, ever. It was very sad. He was in way over his head, but there was nothing anybody could do. He would have just taken anyone who tried to help him down with him. Joy is an only child. Darryl worried about her constantly, always said she didn't laugh enough. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, he pretty much stopped laughing too. His bad investments caught up with him. He sold everything he could but still wound up drowning in debt. Till one day in bankruptcy court, he just keeled over and died of a heart attack. I don't mean to make her sound like some kind of freak. It's just that she doesn't talk much, keeps things bottled up. She's the exact opposite of her father. There's Harlan Bishop, very conscientious. Elliot Chen, very talented, but a very slow worker. And Joy Trent, Joy is hard to describe. I've yet to meet a man who was as terrific with people and as horrible with money as Daryl Trent was. He stayed afloat for 30 years on sheer charisma, I swear. Exactly. But to each his or her own. So, where was I? It's just that sometimes she goes off on these strange new agey type tangents and totally loses me. Anyway, well, let's see. Ingrid Corey is extremely competent and has no problems managing the maintenance staff. Although, I frankly don't know any of my employees that well. I'm a very hands-off kind of boss. I believe in hiring the best, then stepping aside and letting them do their best. Paula Santos.
Hello, Miss Santos. It's Nancy Drew.
Hello. I was wondering when I'd hear from you. Have you been out to the park?
Yes, I have.
I forgot to tell you.
Hello?
Hi, it's Paula. Just thought I'd check in, see how you're doing.
Actually, I'm kind of glad you called.
Why? What's going on?
I'm afraid I've discovered something kind of disturbing about Harlan.
This is Paula Santos. I'm afraid I can't take your call right now, but if you leave your name and number, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. This is Paula Santos. I'm afraid I can't take your call right now, but if you leave your name and number, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Hi, Paula. It's Nancy. Listen, it turns out that Harlan was in a totally different prison than the jewel thief. I was wrong about him. I'm sorry if I upset you. I'll be in touch.
Paula Santos.
Hi, Paula.
Nancy, what's going on? Paula Santos.
Hello, Miss Santos. It's Nancy Drew.
Hello. Have you been out to the park?
No, not yet. I thought I'd check in with you first.
Captain's Cove Police Station, would you hold, please?
I'll try again later.
Captain's Cove Police Station.
Detective Paris, please.
Hang on.
You're going to have to wait and ask Mr. Guerra that question. What was the name?
Nancy Drew. My number is 523-555-4399. That's my cell phone. He can call me anytime.
I'll let him know.
Thank you.
Yes, he does. Is Harlan up to something he shouldn't be concerning?
Harlan Bishop. I believe he's a client of Mr. Guerra's?
Is Harlan up to something he shouldn't be? That's correct. But he's out of the office right now. Would you like to leave a message? State Board of Parole, Louis Guerra's office.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, State Board of Parole, Louis Guerra's office.
P.S. There's a rumor going around that the park is cursed. Creepy, huh? Wish me luck. Ever yours, Nancy. She's putting me up at the Captain's Quarters Hotel, which is next to the park. I'm supposed to head over there right now and meet with a security guard named Harlan Bishop. I hope I don't let Paula down. The roller coaster suddenly stopped in mid-ride for no apparent reason. Nobody was seriously hurt, but the park was shut down until the city knows for sure what caused the accident. I'm here because Paula Santos, the park's owner, is a friend of Dad's. First, a horse just disappeared off the carousel one night. Then, a little later, the carousel started spinning around all by itself in the dead of night, as if it was haunted or something. And then, last week, dear Ned, well, here I am at Captain's Cove Amusement Park, about to try to figure out what's behind all the weird things that have been happening here lately. Have fun fishing! I'm curious, who do you think stole that horse off the carousel? You threw it out? You mean in the garbage? Did you ever read the book yourself? You don't have it? According to the late Daryl Trent, you have a book about Rolf Kessler and his wife. Is there any trick to loading the paper roll on the frame? I haven't played Roll 3 yet, though. I thought I'd check in with you first. I made a new take-up dowel for the paper roll frame in the band organ. I need to figure out what the notes in the melody on Roll 3 are. Any suggestions? And the pipes are activated by air? Do you by any chance know which pipes in the band organ play the melody? Maybe you can help me. Kessler apparently had a special name for Amelia. Do you by any chance remember Amelia's nickname? You mean you read the book before you threw it out? I need to find out Amelia's nickname. Are all the rolls of music in the cabinet? There's a cabinet in there? You mean the one that's locked? Where is the third roll? Does a band organ still play paper rolls? Okay, to get your number, I had to get the band organ open, right? And to get the band organ open, I had to have an access card. And to get an access card, look, if you want to call her, I've got her number right here. That's between me and Miss Santos, I'm afraid. That's kind of where the long story part comes in. When you want to go back to where you came from, or turn around, find where your cursor turns into an arrow at the bottom of the screen, and click. I'm done with that. I'll be in touch. Has anyone else ever found anything? Maybe that's why someone stole that carousel horse, because there were jewels hidden inside it. What can you tell me about the people working at the park during the shutdown? I found some notes that were written in shorthand. Would you happen to know any stenographers? Do you know who Tink is? How long have you known? You do? I'm afraid I've discovered something kind of disturbing about Harlan. I understand Joy's father used to come and go as he pleased even after he sold you his interest in Captain's Cove. Already have. Have any other stolen jewels ever turned up in the park? As a matter of fact, I called the man who was in charge of the investigation back then, Detective Paris. He's looking into it. I was thinking I might call the detective that was in charge of the investigation back then. I think his name was Paris. I read how a customer at Captain's Cove once found stolen jewels on one of the rides, which makes me wonder if that could be why that carousel horse was stolen. When will the insurance company be sending someone out to investigate the roller coaster accident? Did you get more customers at the park after the news media started suggesting that the carousel was haunted? But why would they take the horse? Why didn't they just break it into pieces or something? Just out of curiosity, why do you think someone would steal a carousel horse? Joy gave me an access card, but I still can't get into the roller coaster. Is it true that Captain's Cove is being sued by someone who got hurt in the roller coaster accident? There's this locked door in the haunted house that I'd really like to open. Would you by any chance know where the key is? The letter said he had a workshop under the ballroom. Is there a ballroom somewhere in the park? The letter said he had a workshop under what's now the haunted house. Do you know if it's still there? Do you know much about him? I found an old letter in the gear room of the Carousel. It was written by Rolf Kessler. Joy mentioned that you and her father used to be business partners. What did the police find when they looked at it? First chance I get. Do you know if he and his wife ever got back together? Did you know he was married? All right. Goodbye, Paula. So I can get into the park through the main gate? Well, I'll see what I can do, Miss Santos. Why were they framed? I may have seen them. What are they about? How did Joy take it? How sad. You're making me very curious. How so? She doesn't seem to have a lot of self-confidence. I understand you and her father used to be business partners. Did he have any other children? What happened to him? If you'd rather not say more, I understand. She seems to have some pretty expensive tastes. Some of her ideas are just a little out there. Although what? Can you tell me anything about any of them? Well, what are some of your general impressions? That's it. Thanks a lot. I'd like to order the pasta and veggie platter. I'd like to order the hamburger platter. I'd like to order a sundae, please. I heard that there's a sundae called a fundae that I can only get at this hotel. Could I order one? I'd like to order a fundae, please. I'd like to order the pasta and veggie platter with orange juice instead of a soft drink, please. I'd like to order the hamburger platter with milk instead of a soft drink. Thanks, Miles. What does that mean? Hello? Miles? I guess it means he's not going to talk to me anymore. Why did you call yourself a memory machine? So, who programmed you? Elliot Chen is kind of upset with me. I need to write her a note to call him. As a matter of fact, I need to leave a message for her. Elliot Chen is kind of upset with me. I left her a note to call him. I had to leave a message for her. So, you're some kind of computer? Do you have a name? What's a magnificent memory machine? Who programmed you? What are you, some kind of security system? How come you didn't speak up before when I was in here talking to Joy? I'm a detective named Nancy Drew. And you are? Well, my name is Nancy Drew. Actually, maybe I do. No, that's pretty much what I know, too. Has he ever been in prison somewhere else? To your knowledge, has he ever gone by any other name besides Harlan Bishop? Was he ever at New Jersey State Prison? Did you say Bayside State Prison? I didn't say that, but when was he paroled, do you know? I'm not sure yet. Would you happen to know what prison he was in? Maybe you can help me. Do you know if he has a client named Harlan Bishop? Yes, please. Would you have him call Nancy Drew? You mean Mr. Guerra works with people who've just been released from prison? Is Mr. Guerra a parole officer? Thanks, Detective. You've been a big help. If our theory that someone stole the carousel horse because he thought he'd find the jewels inside it is correct, he could be our man. He fits the description of Dunning's cellmate. How unusual is it for a security guard to be a parolee? Do you know anything about a security guard out at Captain's Cove named Harlan Bishop? Were any of his business ventures illegal as far as you know? Did you ever meet his daughter? Maybe the roller coaster was sabotaged. Maybe whoever stole the horse wanted to shut the park down to make searching for the jewels easier. Which means that person could still be hanging around, trying to figure out what to do next. Does anyone know where he is now? Do you have any idea what he looks like? Do you know the guy's name? Yes. Do you by any chance know what happened to the man who pulled off that heist? Well, I was thinking maybe the reason that horse was stolen off the carousel at Captain's Cove 2 weeks ago was because somebody thought there were jewels from that heist inside it. In case you didn't get the name, it's Nancy Drew. Let me give you my phone number. Again, my name is Nancy Drew, and you can reach me on my cell phone anytime. The number is 523-555-4399. I'm sure Paula will be very appreciative. That would be fantastic.
I'll tell you what, the thief's name was Chaz Dunning. I'll make some calls, try to see if there was somebody he confided in before he died. Somebody who was recently released. Sure, that's possible. I see what you're getting at. That carousel horse may have been stolen because he told somebody he'd stashed some loot inside it.
Could he have told somebody else where he stashed it, like a cellmate or something? Could he have stashed it in that stolen carousel horse? Which was maybe why it was stolen?
He died in prison about a year ago. I never did figure out where he stashed the rest of the loot, although I'm still convinced it's somewhere in that amusement park.
I think what happened back then might have something to do with what's been going on at Captain's Cove now. Do you know what happened to the man responsible for the robbery at the Captain's Quarters Hotel 23 years ago? I'm wondering if maybe that carousel horse was stolen because there were jewels hidden inside it from the robbery at the Captain's Quarters Hotel safe 23 years ago. What happened to the man who pulled off that heist? Since everything seems to have started with the theft of that carousel horse, I'm wondering if maybe it was stolen because there were jewels from that heist hidden inside it. I'm a detective. Do you remember the case? I'm trying to help Paula Santos figure out why so many weird things have been happening lately at her amusement park. Hi, I'm trying to help Paula Santos figure out what's been going on at Captain's Cove lately. You know, a carousel horse gets stolen, the roller coaster suddenly stops. My name is Nancy Drew. I'd like to ask you some questions about a jewel heist, an old jewel heist. The one where the safe at the Captain's Quarters Hotel was broken into. Do you know anything about a security guard out at Captain's Cove named Harlan Bishop? How much do you know about Daryl Trent? You know, the guy who used to be the co-owner of Captain's Cove, Paula's former business partner? I found out that the horse that was stolen off the carousel wasn't even on the carousel when Dunning pulled that robbery. It replaced the original horse 20 years ago. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Actually, no. Oops. If you can't remember anything, this is going to be impossible. Is that all you can tell us, Miles? You know, some of the things your father wants you to remember may be pretty painful. Are you sure you want to go on? Don't give up yet. It's just a blank piece of paper. You've probably forgotten everything about that time in your life because it was just too painful to remember. I'm sure your father helped you shut out the truth in order to spare your feelings. Miles, in the riddle, you said something about telling a truth long since put away. Don't you have a picture of her? We're in the home stretch. What do you say we do the rest of this together? Your mother was the one who bought that horse. I wonder what happened to it. How awful. No wonder you forgot how much you loved the carousel. It would have reminded you of your mother. Maybe I should go listen to the tune again and come back later. Let me try again. If she bought the horse off the carousel, you'd think the park would have a record of that transaction. She was the one who bought the horse off the carousel? That's interesting. The park must have a record of that transaction. She was the one who bought the horse off the carousel? Then I know the name. Glory. I know the name of that carousel horse your mother bought you. Glory. Tink's the guy who runs the carousel. Let's give him a call. I've got his number. I think we're all set. I know the tune, and I've got a harmonica. I've got the tune we're supposed to play for Miles. There was a message written in lemon juice on that piece of paper Miles gave us. We're to play the first 8 notes of your favorite band organ tune on a mouth organ for Miles. I'm not sure what they are either. I think a mouth organ is a harmonica. A band organ is what usually plays the music you hear when you ride a carousel. There was a message written in lemon juice on that piece of paper Miles gave us. We're to play the first 8 notes of your favorite band organ tune on a mouth organ for Miles. I'm pretty sure Miles wants us to bring him the souvenir spoon you get when you order a Fun Day Sundae at the Captain's Quarters. I have one right here. Do you ever talk to the other people who are working during the shutdown? Do you by any chance know how to read shorthand? Maybe it'll ring a bell with somebody else. I'll ask around. Don't give up yet. Maybe I'll turn up something in the course of my investigation. But it's what your father wanted. Shouldn't you at least give it a try? My mother died when I was really young, too. Maybe I could help you. What a wonderful gift. That sounds fascinating. Does he do anything else besides blabber? Why does he call himself the Magnificent Memory Machine? All right, I was snooping. And now if you don't mind answering a question for me, what is that? I was just trying to do the job Ms. Santos asked me to do. I didn't know I was being watched. Well, I was leaving you a note, to call Elliot. Well, I came in here looking for you, yes, but I don't think so. It happened right after I picked up this pencil. It was no accident. Does this pencil I found by the tracks look familiar? Is Ms. Santos aware of the way you feel about her? Oh, right. Thanks for all your help. Sorry if I disturbed you. Do you know the name? Is the name important? Does he not like to be disturbed? Why? Is he temperamental? Be that as it may, I'd still like to talk to some of the other employees. Right. I'm supposed to get an access card from you? Have you ever confronted Ms. Santos with your suspicions? Does anyone else around here think the same way you do? Is Ms. Santos aware of the way you feel about her? But why would she sabotage the roller coaster? She can't make any money with a park shut down. Sounds like you're not much of a believer when it comes to curses. Are you saying she did have something to do with it? What do you mean? Excuse me? Yes, Ms. Santos wants me to have the run of the park. No hurry. If you're in the middle of something, please go ahead and finish up. I'm still working on it. Someone activated the roller coaster while I was standing on the tracks just now. I barely managed to escape. Right. Sorry. That's right. I'm Nancy Drew. So Ms. Santos has filled you in? Yes, I am. Your Joy? I'll try back later. Thanks for your help. Any advice on how to go about fixing the Midway game that's broken? There's a dummy in the haunted house that's been red tagged. It's missing an arm. Any chance it'll be up and running again in the near future? Here's your pliers. I found them in the haunted house behind that hidden door, which led to a booby trap. How did you meet him? What did you talk to him about? I understand that you know the man who got hurt in that roller coaster accident, Lance Huffington. Here's your pliers. I found them in the haunted house behind a hidden door, which led to a booby trap. Do you mind having to work during the shutdown? I got your soldering gun from Elliot and fixed that card reader. Does he borrow your tools a lot? This is going to sound like a really odd question, but if someone asked you to get him the silvery remains of a 4-bit day, what would you do? I was hoping you might know what's behind it. Unfortunately, it's locked. I discovered a hidden door in the haunted house. I heard some strange sounds the last time I was in there. They seem to be coming from below. Did you know that the man who carved the carousel horses had a workshop under what's now the haunted house? I found something underneath the carousel that looks like it might be a remote control device. Why do you think that is? How well do you know Elliot Chen? I don't seem to be having much luck using my access card. Am I doing something wrong? I'd like to take a closer look at the roller coaster, but the access card reader has been red tagged. Harlan says it's because you're working on it. I'm game, but needless to say, I've never done it before. Do you really think I could handle it? I'd like to take a closer look at the roller coaster, but the access card reader doesn't work. It's got this red tag on it. Harlan mentioned that you had some pretty interesting beliefs concerning food and medicine. Any idea why someone would steal a horse off a carousel? Okay, I do. Someone made a tape of you entering your security code into the keypad outside, which I just happened to see. Well, it seems that one of the security guards has been doing a little extracurricular surveillance work. Are you really going to tell me that you can afford a $20,000 gold watch on the salary you earn working here at the park? Because you seem to have a lot of money. Far more than the park pays you. I can't help but wonder where it's coming from. You and he could be partners. He gets on the roller coaster, you shut off the power, the coaster stops suddenly, he cries whiplash and sues the park, you share the settlement. I was just wondering if maybe you and he are in cahoots. That's not my cell phone. Must be yours. Are you going to answer it? That's not my cell phone. Must be yours. Are you going to answer it? That's not my cell phone. Must be yours. Are you going to answer it? Right. Actually, I'd kind of like to keep it. Why would someone steal a carousel horse? So you think this cursed thing is real? Do you have any idea what caused that roller coaster accident? Have you worked at Captain's Cove for very long? Are you sure you're an engineer? How well do you know Harlan Bishop? Could I see the blueprints of the roller coaster so you can show me exactly where on the track it stopped? Miss Santos asked me to figure out why weird things have been happening around here lately. Thanks for the advice. How long have you worked here? Harlan Bishop mentioned that some of your beliefs concerning food were somewhat unconventional. My name's Nancy Drew. Ms. Santos asked me to do an informal investigation of the roller coaster accident and... why are you looking at me like that? I'm sorry, Drew. Nancy Drew. I'm helping Ms. Santos discover what's behind these carousel hauntings. Okay if I ask you some questions? I'm Nancy Drew. I'm trying to help Ms. Santos figure out why so many weird things have been happening around here lately. Do Do you have time to talk? If you're Ingrid Corey, not anymore. I'll see you around. There's nothing inside but a key. Maybe it opens that door in the haunted house. I guess I was a little overzealous, too. I'm really sorry. I'll see you around. No hard feelings. It's just that when I found out you'd been spying on some of your co-workers, I know, I tried to call Miss Santos to set the record straight, but I couldn't get through. I guess she was talking to you. I know that now, and I'm really sorry. May I see that tape of the Carousel haunting again? Guess who needs another fun card? I seem to have used up all the fun on my fun pass. Did you say I could get another one? Could you please turn the juice back on to the dummy in the haunted house that Ingrid was fixing? Here's the tag. I found some kind of electronic device under the carousel. I'm pretty sure someone has been turning the carousel on and off at night by remote control. I'd like to take a look inside the band organ, but my access card doesn't seem to open it. Does the phrase, silvery remains of a 4-bit day, ring any bells with you? Kessler used to have a workshop under what's now the haunted house. Have you ever been down there? I found an old letter in the gear room of the carousel. It was written by the guy who carved all the horses, Rolf Kessler. Is it okay if I keep it? Ingrid said you told her that you were a bouncer before you came to work here. In Trenton, not Flemington. Could you turn the power back on to the card reader outside the roller coaster? It's all fixed. Here's the tag. Any idea why he's so far behind? I'm afraid I got off on the wrong foot with Elliot. I spilled paint all over something he'd been working on. Does that sort of thing happen a lot with her? The card reader outside the roller coaster doesn't work. It's got this red tag on it. If it's not too much of a hassle, that'd be great. I see you have a security camera trained on the carousel. Does that mean you got the theft of that carousel horse on tape? What did you mean when you said you were a newbie? Never mind. I heard strange noises the last time I was in there. They seem to be coming from below. Have you ever heard anything weird in there? So you don't know anything about the hidden door in the room that has the old radiator in it? I might just do that. I'm okay. I tried to tell Ingrid what happened, but she wasn't around. I'm okay, but I'm pretty sure someone started that coaster knowing full well I was standing on the track. I'm fine. Is he in danger of losing his job? Well, I try. Has he always been behind? Have you tried to prove your screwed up wiring theory? Did you notice that burst of static just before the carousel started to turn? How seriously do you think the police are taking this haunting stuff? So is this your first encounter with a haunted amusement park ride? Why wouldn't Joy give me one of these? Am I not supposed to have this? Then I guess I'll go meet Joy. That would certainly help. Why's that? She is? Is anyone else in the park now? Where can I find her? Who else is working here while the park is shut down? Who is this Ingrid person you mentioned? Why do you say that? So you don't think it was sabotage? Who's Ingrid? So you think the carousel starts up by itself because some wires got damaged? What about the roller coaster? So what are your thoughts on this haunted carousel business? Where did you work before you came here? She's afraid the police aren't giving this case very high priority. You're not offended that I'm here, are you? So you're not intimidated by all this curse stuff? You must really like your job. No, but I'm going to. And you're the security guard. The only security guard, sounds like. Substitute the word amateur for famous. And yes, that's me. Are you the only security guard on duty now? Must be pretty boring around here with the park closed. I'm sorry, but I thought she had a right to know what I know. She called you? Actually, I found it near the roller coaster, just before it almost ran me over. You must be Harlan. Paula Santos said you'd be expecting me. If you think I'm Nancy Drew, you're right. Mind if I do a little more snooping?
Go ahead and look around. Excuse all the clutter. I'm still trying to get this place organized.
Okay if I peek in here?
Go ahead and look around. Excuse all the clutter. I'm still trying to get this place organized.
Please don't open that.
Sorry, bad habit. Could I have some of these tissue strips?
Be my guest.
Would it be okay if I took some tape? It might come in handy.
Help yourself.
Mind if I look at this?
No, go right ahead.
Good luck. You never know what you'll turn up in the game, so be sure to explore. Don't forget to trust your instincts and have fun. So, that's it. You're ready to tackle the case. I'll return you to the player challenge screen where you can start the game. Junior detective is not quite as tough as the senior level, so you might want to start there. And if you get stuck or feel like talking to someone you know you can trust, you can always call my good friends Bess and George. And in this game, you can call Frank and Joe Hardy, aka the Hardy Boys, too. If you make a major mistake, say you fall off a roof or blow something up, you can select Second Chance from the main menu to get back to where you were before you goofed. Hang in there, we're almost done. If there are a lot of words in the text box, you know how some people can talk, those bars to the right move up and down so that you can read along. And I couldn't help but notice that you're dressed like a chicken. What's up with that? Who, me? Oh no, I wasn't snooping. I was just looking for a dictionary. I keep forgetting how to spell perpetrator. Excuse me, sir, but I don't snoop. I sleuth. Excuse me, miss, but I couldn't help but notice that you're doing an awful lot of snooping around. Give it a try. Select a question or a reply by clicking on it, and listen to what your suspect says next. In the game, you can talk to the people you meet. The conversation will appear in a text box next to the toolbox. The words of the person you're talking to will be in blue, and my replies will be in white. Is that everything? Oh, I almost forgot one of the most important detective skills. You know, questioning suspects. Hi, no one can take your call right now except Togo, and since he's forbidden to answer the phone because he gets slobber all over it, I'm afraid you're going to have to leave a message. Hi, no one can take your call right now except Togo, and since he's forbidden to answer the phone because he gets slobber all over it, I'm afraid you're going to have to leave a message. Give it a try by calling my home. The number is 1-523-555-3739. You can either click on Dial, then click each digit to dial it directly, or you can click on Directory, then scroll down until you come to Home. Once my number is displayed, just click on Dial and voila! There, see? You get a nice big close-up of it. By the way, you can use my cell phone in dial mode to dial a number yourself, or you can click on the Directory button, then use the down arrow, it's on the button with the pound sign, to scroll through my stored numbers. When you find the number you want, just press dial. Some items that wind up in your toolbox will have a tiny eye beside them. When you click on one of these items, you can see it close up, like my cell phone. Click on it right now and see what happens. To use one of these objects, just move your mouse over it in the toolbox on the right and click on it. See how the cursor turns into that item? Now, if you click on the screen, you'll be using that object. Good work! You're a natural. All right. When you find something useful in the game, you can pick it up and carry it around with you, like that key. Go ahead and pick it up. Take a few steps over to the desk and look for my room card key. When you want to go back to where you came from or turn around, find where your cursor turns into an arrow at the bottom of the screen and click. The magnifying glass comes in very handy. When it turns red, you can use it to open and close things, pick up objects, and move things around. Move your mouse until the magnifying glass turns red, and then click to zoom in. I always carry my magnifying glass with me to scan for clues. When it turns red, I know I'm onto something. Give it a try. Find the forward arrow and take a step over to that round table to see what's there. A forward arrow allows you to advance in the direction you want to go. Likewise, a back arrow allows you to take a step back. Sometimes up and down arrows are available too. When you're in the center of a room, you can turn around in a circle to see the whole room. Move your cursor to the left or right edge of the screen and you'll automatically move in that direction. You can turn off this auto move feature in the game setup menu. Okay. As always, your mission is to solve the mystery. You're going to step into my shoes and be my eyes and ears. It will be up to you to decide my every move. Welcome to my latest case, the Haunted Carousel. To start playing, choose either Junior or Senior Detective. If you're new to adventure games or need some help, choose Tutorial. I don't need it. At last, I'm starved. Talk about fast service. That must be the food I ordered. Ow! I can't iron this. I need something to iron. I need to turn the iron on. Looking at this menu is making me hungry. To get my foot loose, I need to switch the track somehow. Looks like I have to reconnect these wires. I'm not hungry. If I eat one more bite, I'll explode. I'm still full from the last thing I ordered. I can't reach it. Better wait till it's closer. It's too far away. It's almost here. A little bit closer. I got one brass ring, but I might as well try to get another. I'm not giving up yet. Missed. Oops. I have one more chance. I'll try again. Here it comes again. Gotcha! Got it. I grabbed too late. I grabbed too soon. Missed it by a mile. I just missed it. Darn, I reached too soon. Not yet. Here comes the brass ring. There's the brass ring. Get ready. I just missed. I don't see the brass ring yet. Shoot. I'll try again later. My dearest Joy, I hope Miles and his riddles have helped you remember how much you adored this horse and how dearly you loved the woman who gave it to you. I found this picture of her years ago, but I didn't want to give it to you until I knew you were ready. She loved you more than anything, Joy. We both did. Dad. P.S. If you want to see where Glory was carved, look for Kessler's symbol on the wall. I could never spend a lot of time in there. Very strange vibes. That must be Glory. So much for the stairs. Not yet. Yee-haw! Ow. Boy, is my timing off. I didn't time that right. Try again. Darn. Nuts. I missed. The name of the carousel horse is Glory. I already left one message. No need to leave another. Hi, my name is Nancy Drew. My number is 523-555-4399. If you could call me back, I'd really appreciate it. Now I can turn the power on and see if these are properly connected. There are 6 ways to connect these. I'll just have to try them all. Looks like I have to reconnect these wires. I need to divert the roller coaster to the other track. This looks like it's been sabotaged. I better hurry. Uh-oh. This looks a little like the inside of my aunt's player piano. I wonder what goes on this spool. That looks tight enough. Just an old radiator. Something tells me I'd better move. I have to stop him. Like now. I better move. I'd better do something fast. The strips aren't moving because the music is coming from the CD. I need to switch to roll. Time to get another card from Harlan. Better go see Harlan. I need to switch from CD to roll. I'm not ready to turn it on yet. This is where the air comes out. It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye. I haven't made any cuts. It's been red tagged. I've already got one. Wow, a lathe. If I play this game, I can win an anchor. If I play this game, I can win a seashell and a mermaid. If I play this game, I can win a seahorse. This goes to the space underneath the carousel. Not right now. I'm too busy. Not right now. I'm busy. To carve a new dowel, I'm going to need a piece of wood. The keyboard is missing. I'd better hand over the receipt. The arm is missing. I need a tape. Time to put down an anchor. It wants a shell. It needs a seahorse token. It wants a mermaid. Interesting. I should turn in the tag. I need a tool to attach this arm. Something's missing here. I need a replacement dowel. I need to make the writing visible. I can use this to measure. This takes an employee access card. It needs another part. This takes a fun pass. My phone doesn't work. I can't get a signal down here. I need to put the tissue strips on first. Oops, I don't need another rod. I've already got one. Wow, that's one expensive watch. I can't go back down there. The stairs are gone. Ow! Ow! Those look like horse tails. So there was a door to Kessler's workshop by the radiator in the ballroom. Woohoo! Hi, no one can take your call right now except Togo. And since he's forbidden to answer the phone because he gets slobber all over it, I'm afraid you're going to have to leave a message. Oh, the ring won't go on. Guess I'd better answer that. There goes my cell phone. My cell phone's ringing. Oops. No power. I haven't finished repairing this yet. I need to solder. It's still not fixed. There, that looks right. There, that looks right. I think I'm ready to solder. I need to fix this before I take the tag anywhere. The phone number for the police. That might come in handy. Rolf Kessler. A room service menu. All right. If Elliot wrote this guy's number down, maybe I should too. Mind if I do a little more snooping? Okay if I peek in here? Guess I'm gonna have to call Tink. Whoever he is. Somebody's been making reproductions. Or should I say forgeries? I'll bet that's the carousel horse that was stolen. Where did the door go? Soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna call the police, Elliot. So don't bother making plans for tonight. Or the next 10 years. I should probably take these with me. Now how am I gonna get out of here? That must be the carousel horse that Joy's mother bought for her. These stairs sure don't feel very safe. Call LH about results. LH. Lance Huffington, maybe? I should leave a note for Joy. Kessler's symbol. That must be Joy's mother. She was beautiful. Looks like stenography. It's a memo about one of the carousel horses being sold. I wonder which horse. The first 8 notes of your favorite band organ tune, plus 1 mouth organ, plus 1 smidgen of talent equals 1 happy miles. Sounds like it's coming from below. What is that noise? Clear tape. Yes! Tissue strips. Just what I need. You never know when you might need some tape. These might come in handy. Hello? A letter. Joy's father must have left it for her. Oh my gosh! These must be jewels from that jewel heist. Looks like someone else has been working down here. So this was Kessler's workshop. Maybe these stairs go down to Kessler's workshop. No reception. Looks like my phone won't work in here. I need to screw it into place somehow. Oops, I guess it wasn't attached after all. I need to reach in there with pliers. Ingrid said I'd need pliers. Maybe it's to turn that knob. I can't go back down there. I'll run into Elliot. I'm trapped. Elliot locked me in. Whoa, that was close. What was that? It's a dead end. Maybe this is the key to that door in the haunted house. Wonder what that is. I'm under the carousel. Cool. I think I know the tune, Miles. Oh no! Those bars must be the bottom of the shafts that make the horses go up and down. The take-up dowel is broken. One of the security cameras is trained on the carousel. I better go to Harlan's. He sounds mad. Oops, better not leave until I've put that tape back. I better put this back where I found it. I can't leave yet. I haven't played that tape. Wonder what's on here. I'll just play it and find out. Could I have some of these tissue strips? I guess this is what they mean by a crawl space. Would it be okay if I took some tape? It might come in handy. I don't need this one. This must be it. Let's see. Miles said the song is on the 3rd roll. Time to start crawling. Yeah! Whoa! Whee! Louis G. Wonder who that is. Best way to find out is to call him. This isn't long enough. This looks like one of Joy's. This isn't strong enough. I can't reach. Ingrid must have gone somewhere. I can use this to leave a note for Joy to call Elliot. That symbol looks familiar. Oh no, this thing must have been rigged to turn on the carousel if anybody picked it up. There's something up there. Looks like a letter. I wonder what the deal is with this red tag. If I don't move, I'm gonna get skewered. I've got to get out of here. Whoa! If I reach too far and fall off, ouch! I'd better wait. I don't have time to make a call now. I should wait till I'm outside. It would be rude to use my phone now. I'd better wait until later. Let me try that again. Maybe I'd better go back and listen. To the tune again. Looks like Spook 10 is missing an arm. It's too steep to go any further. So there was a door to Kessler's workshop by the radiator in what's now the haunted house. Uh-oh. Looks like it's out of order. Hidden jewels. Maybe that's what whoever stole that carousel horse was after. Jewels from that heist. Kessler's workshop would have been under what's now the haunted house. I wonder if it's still there. Maybe I should give Detective Paris a call. So, the haunted house used to be the ballroom. That's interesting. Bye-bye. It looks like Harlan's been spying on Ingrid. That looks perfect. That doesn't look right. Would it be okay if I looked through this book? I need to tape these down. Better not take the tag until I fix this. Mind if I look at this? I need to get that soldering gun from Elliot. Ingrid said I need to solder this new part to the board. Try again. Still not right. That's still not right. That's not right. Wow, 360 board feet. That's a lot of wood. A book on carousels. Cool. Sorry, bad habit. Sorry. Right, sorry. Who said that? Now what? If I could win the paper yo-yo I saw on that prize machine, I could use it to knock that letter down. The paper yo-yo I won. Maybe I could use it to knock that letter down. A paper yo-yo. I could use that to knock down the letter I saw inside the carousel. I need to take this red tag back to Harlan. I better turn this off. I need to tape them to the pipes. Okay, I need some clear tape and some tissue strips. I could attach a strip to each pipe and then watch to see which ones flutter and in which order when the music plays. All I need are some strips of tissue paper. Tink said the pipes in front play the melody. Maybe I should give Tink another call. If I could write down the notes, I'd be all set. But how am I ever going to figure out which notes are playing? Better leave these goggles here. Oh, that was so good. Oh my gosh. This is so good. That sounds right. I should go play this for Miles. I can't open this without the combination. The fan. I know there's air coming out of each pipe. If I could just see the air, I could figure out the sequence of notes. I can't reach it. That's a Poppy Dada. That should do it. Ingrid said to be sure to take the tag back to Harlan. My access card doesn't work. The ballroom... That's what was converted into the haunted house. Guess she's not here. Looks like Joy's a pencil chewer. Yikes. Guess I better do as I'm told. There, see? You get a nice big close-up of it. By the way, the PDA helps you keep track of what you learn in the course of your detective work. Just click on its scroll buttons to read what's there. When you're done, move your cursor down until it becomes the back arrow. Click, and the PDA will return to the toolbox. Some items that wind up in your toolbox will have a tiny eye beside them. When you click on one of these items, you can see it close up. Like my PDA, otherwise known as my personal digital assistant. It's the little gray thing in the toolbox that looks like a handheld computer. Move your cursor over it, click on it, and watch what happens. Oh, one more thing. You know how in real life you sometimes wish you could make time speed up? Well, in this game, you can. Just head up the stairs in Sally's house and a dialog box will appear. If you indicate that you'd like to wake up at night, PM, the next thing you know, it's night. If you click on morning, AM, ta-da! It's a brand new day. Good luck! You never know what you'll turn up in the game, so be sure to explore. Don't forget to trust your instincts and have fun. So that's it. You're ready to tackle the case. I'll return you to the player challenge screen where you can start the game. Junior detective is not quite as tough as the senior level, so you might want to start there. And if you get stuck or feel like talking to someone you know you can trust, you can always call Bess and George. Sometimes you can call Frank and Joe Hardy, aka the Hardy Boys, too. If you make a major mistake, say you fall off a roof or blow something up, you can select Second Chance from the main menu to get back to where you were before you goofed. Hang in there, we're almost done. If there are a lot of words in the text box, you know how some people can talk. Those bars to the right move up and down so that you can read along. And I couldn't help but notice that you're dressed like a chicken. What's up with that? Who, me? Oh no, I wasn't snooping. I was just looking for a dictionary. I keep forgetting how to spell perpetrator. Excuse me, sir, but I don't snoop. I sleuth. Excuse me, miss, but I couldn't help but notice that you're doing an awful lot of snooping around. Give it a try. Select a question or a reply by clicking on it and listen to what your suspect says next. In the game, you can talk to the people you meet. The conversation will appear in the text box next to the toolbox. The words of the person you're talking to will be in blue, and my replies will be in white. Is that everything? Oh, I almost forgot one of the most important detective skills. You know, questioning suspects. To use one of these objects, just move your mouse over it in the toolbox on the right and click on it. See how your cursor turns into that item? Now, if you click on the screen, you'll be using that object. Good work! You're a natural! All right! When you find something useful in the game, you can pick it up and carry it around with you. Like that key. Go ahead and pick it up. Take a few steps over to the desk and look for my room card key. When you want to go back to where you came from or turn around, the magnifying glass comes in very handy. When it turns red, you can use it to open and close things, pick up objects, and move things around. Move your mouse until the magnifying glass turns red, and then click to zoom in. I always carry my magnifying glass with me to scan for clues. When it turns red, I know I'm onto something. Give it a try. Find the forward arrow and take a step over to that round table to see what's there. A forward arrow allows you to advance in the direction you want to go. Likewise, a back arrow allows you to take a step back. Sometimes up and down arrows will be available too. When you're in the center of a room, you can turn around in a circle to see the whole room. Move your cursor to the left or right edge of the screen, and you'll automatically move in that direction. You can turn off this auto move feature in the Game Setup menu. Okay. As always, your mission is to solve the mystery. You're going to step into my shoes and be my eyes and ears. It will be up to you to decide my every move. Welcome to my latest case, Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. To start playing, choose either Junior or Senior Detective. If you're new to adventure games or need some help, choose Tutorial. It's locked. Dear Ned, remember Sally McDonald, the woman who took those photos that Dad has up in his office? Well, she just bought a house in Moon Lake, Pennsylvania. A gangster named Mickey Malone built it back in the 1920s as his country getaway. We're talking major fixer-upper. Anyway, last night Sally called and she said she desperately needed my detective skills. She refused to say why over the phone. Naturally, I said I'd drive to Moon Lake immediately. But weird things started happening the moment I pulled up. First, this big tree fell down behind my car and has me totally blocked in. And then I discovered that Sally's gone. She left a note that suggested something terrible happens here at night. She's supposed to call me from her car. So here I sit, writing to you while I wait for the phone to ring. It's nighttime, and although part of me is dying to know what frightened Sally away, another part of me is starting to feel a little uneasy. I'll let you know what happens. Ever yours, Nancy. I better get going. Any suggestions as to my next move? Joy Trent admitted to sabotaging the roller coaster, but I still haven't figured out who's responsible for the Carousel hauntings. This article I read about Rolf Kessler said that there's a black rose somewhere on every single horse he ever carved. Someone made a very serious attempt to drop something very heavy on me while I was in the haunted house a little bit ago. I found out that Harlan wasn't in the same prison as that jewel thief. I don't suppose you guys have ever repaired a band organ. Yep, and I found a door in the haunted house that may lead to his old workshop. You got it. I found a letter that he wrote but never mailed to his estranged wife, Amelia. He was eccentric, all right. Has either of you ever heard of a guy named Rolf Kessler? I took an unsupervised tour of Ingrid's work area. I found out she's been in contact with the guy who's suing the park. I took an unsupervised tour of Ingrid's work area. I found out she's been in contact with someone who's suing the park for injuries he says he suffered in the roller coaster accident. I took a little spin around Harlan's office when he wasn't there. Turns out he's been in prison. I'm checking to see if he was in the same prison as that jewel thief. I'm afraid I've been very nosy lately. I think I may have found the device that's been making the carousel go around by itself. Yes, for a while it was very embarrassing. Then Joy started telling me how her late father had created Miles, that's a computer, to help her remember her childhood. Yeah, but as it turns out, Joy admires my spunk. In fact, she wants me to help her. That talking thing in Joy's office ratted me out. I got busted while snooping in Joy's office by a talking computer. I got the feeling that Elliot, the art director, was lying when he tried to tell me that carousel horses weren't valuable. There's something going on with Ingrid, the engineer, that I can't quite figure out. Joy, the bookkeeper, she seems very unstable. Harlan, the security guard, matches the description of the cellmate of a thief who hid some stolen jewelry in Captain's Cove years ago. Harlan may be after the rest of his loot. Well, Harlan, the security guard, could be the one who's after those jewels I told you about. He matches the description of the thief's cellmate. Want me to tell you about my suspects? Good news! Somebody activated the roller coaster while I was standing on the tracks and tried to kill me. Did I tell you that there may have been jewels stashed in the horse that was stolen off the carousel? The one that started this whole curse thing? Apparently, one of the people who was on the roller coaster when it suddenly stopped is claiming that his neck got injured and has filed a lawsuit. Because that would explain the alleged hauntings. Someone who's nowhere near the carousel transmits a signal that turns it on and off. When I saw a tape of the carousel going around by itself, there was a very brief burst of static just before the carousel started up. Do you guys know much about remote control devices? I'm out at the park, but I'm still kind of planning my strategy. Any suggestions? I want to find out what a carousel that suddenly starts up by itself has in common with a roller coaster that suddenly stops by itself. One of the first things I think I'll do is check out the roller coaster. I haven't been out to the park yet. I'm kind of planning my strategy. Any suggestions? Guess I'm just gonna have to ask her. Well, she didn't get it at Radio Shack, that's for sure. Oh no! Which table? Do you have proof? Why do you say that? The way I hear it, the shutdown is a good thing. For you, at least. Do you have any idea who stole that horse off the carousel? What do you think caused the roller coaster accident? How do you explain what's been going on around here? I hope she also told you that I spent a full 10 minutes in her office without spilling a thing. Amateur detective. The thing is, it's kind of important that we talk. Part of me would love to leave, believe me, but I'm afraid I need to ask you some questions. Okay, well, it's not sitting out anymore. Oops.
You have reached 555-4468. I can't come to the phone right now, so please leave a message.
Hi, Bess. Hi, George. Well, thanks to you guys, I'm leaving here and flying directly to the Pacific Northwest for some much-needed R&R. George, I just got off the phone with that marine biologist friend of yours. She insisted I stay with her, and she even said she'd take me whale watching on the tour boat she owns. Anyway, thanks for arranging this little vacation, you two. 1 whole week of peace, quiet, and sitting around doing nothing. This is going to be awesome. Bye. You let everyone believe you were just a hopeless procrastinator. But this is the real reason you're behind in your work, isn't it? It's what you've done. You stole the horse, you fabricated the whole haunted carousel thing to increase its value, and now you're making not just one forgery, but several. But if you think I'm letting you have them, you're nuts. That's right. You want them? Here! No, wait. Look what I have. They're diamonds, real diamonds. Someone stole them 23 years ago and stashed them in the park. I'll let you get back to work. I think somebody just tried to run me over with a roller coaster. What if I told you that I have it on good authority that it was carved by Kessler? The thing is, I just found out who bought the carousel horse that was replaced years ago. The horse that was stolen was definitely not the one that had been replaced. I have a theory. Someone stole that carousel horse, then made it look like the carousel was haunted so the publicity would make the horse worth more on the black market. Are you sure the horse that was stolen was not an original Kessler? That's okay. How hard do you think it would be to make a forgery of a carousel horse? What color was the tail of the carousel horse that was stolen? I need to make a dowel to replace this broken one from the band organ. Would it be all right if I used your equipment? I won't make a mess, I promise. I know you're busy, but I was hoping you could maybe help me solve a riddle. If I asked you for the silvery remains of a 4-bit day, what would you give me? I found this receipt on the floor. Looks like you bought a lot of basswood recently. I found this strange hidden door in the haunted house. Problem is, it's locked. Do you have any idea what's behind it? Did you two have some kind of run-in? Why do you say that? Do you see much of the other people who are working during the shutdown? Like Joy Trent or that security guard, Harlan Bishop? I noticed you have a Poppy Dada. Ingrid said you have her soldering gun. I need to get it from you, if that's okay. The fact that the park is shut down must be kind of a relief for you. Before, you said the horse that was stolen off the carousel was junk. But Ingrid said that carousel horses can be very valuable. Somebody who was good at it could make a small fortune selling duplicates of the stolen horse on the black market, couldn't they? Why would you need several tails if you're just carving one horse? I understand that carvers like Kessler preferred to use basswood, which is kind of interesting, seeing as you just got a shipment of basswood. All that wood you recently ordered, what did you say it was for? That must be it. Thank you. Elliot, you're a genius. What about the word day? The hotel adjacent to the park? So the horse the hack carved was worthless, and that's the horse that was stolen. The replacement? I hear you're way behind in your work. So the horse wasn't valuable? Not even as an antique? That's odd. Ingrid said carousel horses can be very valuable. You sure you don't mind? I'm really sorry about what happened before. You talked to Joy? My name's Nancy Drew. Take your time. Catch you guys later. Got anything for me in the way of hints? I found a pair of Ingrid's pliers behind the door. When I asked her about them, Ingrid suggested that someone was trying to frame her. I found a pair of pliers behind the door. I'm pretty sure they're Ingrid's. Harlan is the one who gave me the key, but I'm not sure if that makes him more suspicious or less suspicious. A secret someone left a key for me that unlocked a door in the haunted house. I was hoping it would lead to Kessler's old workshop. Instead, it led to a booby trap. Thanks to that info and stenography you guys sent me, I was able to figure out the name of the carousel horse that Joy's mother bought her. I was really wrong about Harlan. He was not that jewel thief's cellmate. In fact, he was in a totally different prison. Turns out Ingrid was calling Lance Huffington to share a remedy for neck pain with him. While I was snooping around in Ingrid's, I found a note she'd written to herself to call L.H. Apparently, Harlan's been spying on Ingrid. He has the combination to her entry keypad on tape. I found out that the man who may have hidden jewels in that stolen carousel horse died in prison, but his cellmate, who apparently looks a lot like Harlan Bishop, was recently released. It turns out Joy was responsible for causing that accident that shut down the park. It's like she's built this wall between herself and her past. What I can't figure out is why. She says she never even rode the carousel. To solve the second riddle, the one that was written in lemon juice, I have to play Joy's favorite tune from the carousel on a harmonica. Well, she was only 4, but I get the feeling she's still kind of messed up. The really weird thing is that she'd completely blocked it out of her memory. She thought her father had destroyed all the pictures. I found out that after Joy's mother died, she was so distraught that she destroyed every single picture of her mother that her father had. Miles said he was giving Joy and me another riddle, but all he gave us was a blank piece of paper. Guess what I had to do to solve that riddle from Miles? She didn't recognize it, but she did want to keep it. I wouldn't let her. She says she didn't see it when she looked under the carousel. I showed Ingrid the device I found under the carousel. I found a letter written by Rolf Kessler to his wife Amelia. It was hidden inside the carousel. I found a very odd-looking device under the carousel. I'm willing to bet that it's the reason the carousel seems to be turning on and off by itself. Unfortunately, the memo didn't say who bought it. Why would someone buy a carousel horse? I translated that stenography note thanks to you guys. Well, if we can solve the riddle Miles the computer gave us, maybe we'll find out. All I know is there's a lot more to Joy than meets the eye. Joy's inventor father programmed that talking computer that she has in her office to get her back in touch with her inner child or something. It's possible that somebody sabotaged the roller coaster to shut down the park and make searching for the jewels easier. He or she could still be around, planning their next move. I found out that the horse that was stolen off the carousel wasn't even on the carousel when that hotel robbery was committed. It was a replacement for the original horse. Got anything on stenography for me yet? I almost got creamed by the roller coaster when I was on the tracks looking around, and I don't think it was an accident. Actually, I think he's using me as an excuse not to work. Apparently, he likes to put things off and is way behind schedule. Of course, now that the park is shut down, that could be. I do get the feeling he knows more about the carousel than he lets on. I finally met the park's art director, Elliot Chen. We kind of got off on the wrong foot, but he's real friendly to me now. Joy Trent has a computer in her office that sees, hears, talks, and interrupts people when they're snooping. I need you guys to do something for me. I found some stenography notes that I'd really like to translate, only I don't know shorthand. There was a brochure for a sports car in Ingrid's work area, the Pandora 2XS. She seems smart, yet she told me with a totally straight face that the park was cursed. Stolen carousel horse, cause of the curse. Roller coaster accident, result of the curse. Seems to, although she doesn't seem to know where the blueprints for the roller coaster are. Did I tell you that I met the park's chief engineer? I think I might know why somebody stole that horse off the carousel. They were looking for jewels that had been hidden inside it after a hotel robbery. She made it sound like Paula fabricated this whole haunted carousel thing just to drum up business for the park. She seemed to blame Paula for the fact that her father was bankrupt when he died. The woman who does the park's bookkeeping, Joy Trent, she is one strange drink of water. I haven't really talked to her yet. So far, my dad has pretty much arranged everything. The person who owns the park is a woman named Paula Santos. She's a good friend of my father's. He gave me a pass that lets me ride all the rides and play all the games on the Midway. Unfortunately, almost all the rides are closed. He gave me a pass that lets me ride all the rides and play all the games on the Midway. He's from New Jersey. I'm pretty sure about that. I met the security guard, Harlan Bishop. Nice guy. Except when I asked him where he worked before. He seemed kind of evasive. All the horses on the carousel that supposedly haunted were carved by a man named Rolf Kessler. Either of you ever heard of him? I just thought I'd call you guys before I headed over to the park. Do you have time to talk? I mean, I don't want to mess up this map thing. What happened to caller ID, Bess? It seems highly unlikely, although I can't really rule her out completely. I don't think so. I think she sincerely believed that Ms. Santos was behind it, so she caused the roller coaster accident to teach her a lesson. She was apparently the only person in the world he cared for, and who cared for him. In the letter, he mentioned that his workshop was under the ballroom. Which is now the haunted house. Is George there too? Okay, so who is he and where'd you meet him? Thanks for all the info. Has anyone ever forged a carousel horse? You know, carved a copy of a Kessler or something, then passed it off as the real thing? Would you happen to know the nickname Rolf Kessler gave his wife, Amelia? Are any of Kessler's other carousels thought to be haunted? Do you have any idea why someone would be going to the trouble of making the carousel turn on and off by itself? Did you hear about how the carousel at Captain's Cove is now allegedly haunted because one of the horses was stolen? If someone did steal that horse off the carousel in order to make money off of it, what would be his or her next move? How would they go about selling it? What's a lead horse? How much would a horse from a Kessler carousel be worth? Did you by any chance hear about the horse that was stolen off the carousel at Captain's Cove Amusement Park in New Jersey? It was one of the carousels that Kessler carved. Oh.
I have been programmed to give you one hint. The tune is on the third roll. You will have to think about this one. End of hint. You used to play the harmonica for your mother all the time, Joy. Your favorite tune was the one you heard on the carousel. The music you hear when you ride the Captain's Cove carousel comes from the band organ that sits inside the rider platform. Correct. The music you hear when you ride the Captain's Cove carousel comes from the band organ that sits inside the rider platform. And the mouth organ is a harmonica. You and your mother used to love to play this game, Joy. Here is the second riddle. This one is written down. Please remove it. That is why he invented
Miles the Magnificent Memory Machine.
The older your father got, Joy, the more he realized that life is nothing but memories. He realized that even bad memories have a place in a good life. You were very little when your mother died, Joy. Your grief came out as anger. Before your father could stop you, you destroyed every picture of your mother that he had. The scan is complete. The object is correct. Your mother used to take you for a Sunday at the captain's quarters almost every week. Do you remember, Joy? And because that is what you are doing, here is the third and final riddle. But your father did not destroy it. Instead, he stored it. He hoped that someday, with the help of
Miles the Magnificent Memory Machine!
you would come to terms with your past. For shame, you cheated. In response, I say. But since the only one you cheated is yourself, we will proceed. Does that tune bring back memories, Joy? You loved the carousel, and you loved one horse in particular. It was not the lead horse, and it was not spectacular, but you loved it, Joy. What was its name? Close, but no cigar. We will be waiting. Ask Tink for the book you and I used to read about Kessler and Amelia So Kind. Give her nickname a spin on spook number 10. Then the brass prize arrange on its forearm so strange. And something long lost and cherished you'll find. Lay it on me. Here is the first riddle. Listen carefully. To be told a truth long since put away. Bring me the silvery remains of a 4-bit day. Joy Trent is a party-pooping stick in the mud. The word blabbermouth is without meaning to
Miles the Magnificent Memory Machine!
an analysis of sensory input shows that the Nancy Drew entity entered the immediate area during your absence and exhibited non-random seeking behavior. Joy, while you were gone, the Nancy Drew entity came in here and snooped. I am not programmed to continue unless and until you remember the name of that horse. You loved it so much that your mother bought it for you. Of course I do. I am.
Miles the Magnificent Memory Machine!
However, I am.
Miles the Magnificent Memory Machine!
Knock yourself out. Please place the item in the tray. My oral sensors are ready. Suck it to me. Oopsie. Hooray! The weight is incorrect. Try again. Let me know when you're ready to try again. If you think you know the tune, come over here and play it for me. Are you ready to try again? Colder. Warmer. Other way. You're getting colder. You're getting warmer. What in the name of all that's digital is that? Why on earth would I want that? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. Over here. I said that. Over here. On top of the cabinet. Who are you and what are you doing?
Who said that?
Who are you and what are you doing?
Thanks, Miles.
The Nancy Drew entity is welcome. Responding is an unnecessary drain on my power unit. Responding to the non-joy entity is an unnecessary drain on my power units and is heretofore disallowed.
What does that mean? Hello? Miles? I guess it means he's not going to talk to me anymore.
There is a pad for leaving messages on the desk. Oh, it is my turn to ask a question, Nancy Drew. Why are you here when Joy is not? I cannot interact with my environment when my visual and oral sensors are covered. I am
Miles the Magnificent Memory Machine!
I receive and process video and audio input and make appropriate pre-programmed verbal responses. Digital representations of your voice and image have been entered into my memory circuits, Nancy Drew. Joy has stepped out of the office. Please identify yourself.
Whoa, speaking of which, I gotta go. I'm due in court. What'd you say your name was?
Nancy.
Well, Nancy, next time you call me, you could very well be talking to a multi-millionaire. Ta-ta.
Bye.
Everything's great. Her plan worked. I'm glad she shared it with me. Life's good. At least it will be when the trial's over and the settlement's in the bank. Yeah, she called me. Oh, yeah? Sorry, sports fans. I'm down at the courthouse right now, seeking fair compensation for my grievous neck injuries. Leave a message at the beep, and if I'm not in too much pain, I'll give you a call back.
I still don't have anything to say to him.
Sorry, sports fans. I'm down at the courthouse right now, seeking fair compensation for my grievous neck injuries. Leave a message at the beep, and if I'm not in too much pain, I'll give you a call back.
What am I doing? I don't have anything to say to him.
Talk to me.
Yes, hi. Is this Lance Huffington?
You betcha. Who's this?
Well, I'm Nancy Drew. I work with Ingrid Corey. I'm kind of her unofficial assistant here at the park. She tells me everything.
Oh? What?
You failed to mention that he's one of the nicest guys you'd ever want to meet.
Very true. Well, I hope I've been of some assistance.
Oh, you have. You've been a big help. Thank you.
Good day, then.
Bye.
As far as I know, Harlan is a security guard at Captain's Cove Amusement Park. Now, do all these questions mean you know something about him that I don't? He comes to my office once a week.
Did he ever have a cellmate named Chaz Dunning? Have you seen him since he's been paroled?
No, ma'am. Yes, I did. He served 30 months in Bayside State Prison for check kiting and forgery. He was paroled 5 weeks ago.
Hello?
This is Luis Guerra with the State Board of Parole. I understand you have some questions concerning Harlan Bishop.
Right. Hi. Yes, for starters, could you tell me what prison he was in?
Hey, say hi to Paula for me. Glad I could be of service. All in a day's work. Just doing my job. Never heard of him. I met him a couple of times. Real friendly guy. Young at heart. More of a kid than most kids. I kind of think that's what killed him, you know. His body just got too old for his soul. No kidding. That means if Dunning did hide jewels in the horse that was there 23 years ago, whoever's after him didn't find him. I'll tell you what. I'll make some calls, try to see if there was somebody he confided in before he died. Somebody who was recently released. The thief's name was Chaz Dunning. Died in prison about a year ago. Well, apparently he's used a lot of aliases. The guy I talked to wasn't sure which name he was released under, but he did give me a description. Well, the parole board's supposed to. I've got a call into them. I don't have his name yet, but I got a description of the guy. Dark hair, medium build, clean-shaven, heavy Jersey accent. Like I said, I'm still in the process of making calls. I just thought I'd let you know what I had so far.
Hello?
Hi, Nancy. KJ Paris. I got some preliminary info on that jewel thief. You know Chaz Dunning?
Great. Let's hear it.
Okay. Before he died, he got to be real good buddies with his cellmate at New Jersey State Prison. And his cellmate was paroled less than 2 months ago. Wouldn't hurt to keep an eye on him. Well, if you want to know the truth, half the guys I work with do, but, vary. Of course, there's no law against it. It's up to the person doing the hiring. As long as he or she knows all the facts. Who they hire is nobody's business but theirs. Well, not illegal, just extremely ill-advised. No crime in that, though. I didn't even know she existed until Paula mentioned she'd hired her. Hi, Nancy. Nothing new at this end. What have you got? Sounds like you better stay on your toes, young lady. Afraid I don't have anything on Dunning yet. Still waiting for people to return my calls. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hello, Detective Paris. You have caller ID?
Hey, just because we're small doesn't mean we're prehistoric.
Hello?
This is Detective KJ Paris, Captain's Cove Police Department. Paula Santos asked me to call you. Said it concerned that heist out at Captain's quarters 23 years ago. No need, got it right here. This is a first-class operation, got caller ID and everything. Well, as soon as I know something, you'll know something.
Thanks, Detective Paris. It was great talking to you.
Ditto. Never occurred to me, but it's possible, I suppose. Oh, yeah? So what do you need? Oh, sure do. Mostly because it was only half solved. Knew who the perp was, but never recovered all the loot. Bugs me to this day. Just so happens Paula Santos is a good friend of mine. Whoa, you are going back a ways. You a reporter or something? This is KJ.
You're the greatest. I really appreciate your help. I'll be right here. Thanks, Nancy. Play it for Miles and see what happens. It's all yours, Detective. As usual, I'm stumped. It couldn't have been. I never rode the carousel. I always thought it was stupid. I thought all the rides in the park were stupid. If you still want to help me, please, Nancy, keep going. I feel like a door somewhere is starting to creak open. I'm kind of scared to open it, but I also kind of know I have to. Once again, I have no idea what he's talking about. I did that? No, my father told me he had gotten rid of them. He always said some things are better left forgotten. Oh my gosh. I'm the reason I have nothing to remember her by. The Captain's Quarters Fun Day. I do remember that. I was so small, I always had to sit on my mother's lap to eat it. I wish I could remember what she looked like. I blamed Miss Santos for my father's death, just like I blamed that horse for what happened to my mother. I feel horrible. Keep going without me, Nancy. I have to go see Miss Santos and apologize. No. Nancy, I did something terrible. I turned the power off to the roller coaster and caused the accident that shut down the park. I hated the park after my mother died. I hated the carousel, and I hated that horse. I blamed it for what happened to my mother. I had my father destroy it. I remember that song. I did ride the carousel. Over and over and over, always the same horse, always the same black horse. My favorite band organ tune. I don't even know what a band organ is. Or a mouth organ either, for that matter. I'm not very good at socializing. I couldn't even tell you what any of them look like, quite frankly. I go to work, I go home. That's pretty much my life. Sorry, sure don't. Do what you want. But I'm not gonna hold my breath. I haven't seen it. But you're right. It must be around here somewhere. I have no idea what he's talking about. I knew it would be a waste of time. Great! Have you got a harmonica? I should be mad that you were snooping around in here. But the truth is, I think it's neat that you're so gutsy. Especially since I'm so not gutsy. Oh, what the heck. Okay, Miles, let's hear the first riddle. I don't see it that way at all. I don't want to relive my childhood. My mother died when I was 4, so my father programmed him with a bunch of riddles designed to reconnect me with long-lost memories from my childhood. My father said he invented Miles in order to reacquaint me with my childhood. It always bothered him that I was never as happy-go-lucky as he was. What am I, Miles? I don't have room in my apartment, so I brought him here. I keep him covered when I know I'm going to have company. As you noticed, he can be kind of a blabbermouth. Give it to Miles and see what happens. My father was a frustrated inventor. After he died, I discovered that in his study. In his will, he said he made it just for me. Glory! That's right! Glory! My mother gave him to me for my birthday. My 4th birthday. She died in a car accident that very night. You were snooping around in here? But I didn't leave it there. I mean, just because you found one of my pencils, that hardly proves I'm guilty of something. That looks like one of mine. Really? Are you sure it was on purpose? Maybe you accidentally tripped a switch or something. He's behind in his work and needs to catch up. Miss Santos has been getting on my case about it. Well, I think you have everything, so if you'll excuse me. I can't remember. The only other people in the park right now are Harlan Bishop and the art director, Elliot Chin. His studio is right by the treasure chest souvenir shop. But try not to bug him. That should get you into all the private areas of the park. But if you run into problems, don't come to me. Ask the chief engineer, Ingrid Corey. Her office is by the haunted house. Of course. But before I forget, here's your access card. Here you go. Paula could have bailed him out, but she didn't. Frankly, I think the reason she hired me was guilt. He used to be co-owner of the park. 2 years ago, he suffered a huge financial setback, and he had to sell his share to Paula. When he died 2 months ago, he was flat broke. Paula offered me this job because she knew I needed the money, and I'm not entirely ungrateful. My father died recently. His estate is in bankruptcy. I really don't know. You'd have to ask them. Of course, if you do, they'll probably tell you that my father... Of course not. I don't want to get fired. Besides, nobody's been hurt, except that glorified con artist who claims his neck got injured, Lance Huffington. And the truth is, she probably just didn't know the park would be shut down. I just know greed when I see it, that's all. I've seen how Paula runs the park. All she wants is to get more and more people through that gate. And what better way to do that than with a carousel that's allegedly haunted? You're only here because it makes it look like Paula Santos had nothing to do with any of this cursed garbage. You're wasting your time, you know. That's okay. I'd just as soon get this little farce over. Yes, although I don't know who she thinks she's fooling. Joy Trent. Sorry about the mess. So, I'm supposed to give you an access card. Any luck with the name? Any luck? Any luck with the riddle? Need something? I really do need to get this work done. Hello? Are you Nancy? This is hopeless. This is hopeless. The haunted house used to be a ballroom. How's that for irony? Some of those posters are pretty old. Excuse all the clutter. I'm still trying to get this place organized. You practically need a tetanus shot to work in here. Go ahead and look around. This place is part office, part junkyard.
That's one of the dummies Joy Trent's father created. Probably why the circuitry is so bizarre. It works though, so just reattach it. You'll need pliers. Interesting. I looked under there. Wonder how I missed it. May I have this? Here's the engineering handbook I put together. If you have questions about park-related electronics, it'll answer them. Keep it as long as you like. Have at it. Pretty neat, huh? Here's the new macro resistor. When you see the board, you'll be able to see where it goes. You'll need to solder it in place. That's fun to tinker with. Knock yourself out. Go ahead and take that with you. Why don't you take that? It might come in handy. Feel free to look around. You might need this. Help yourself. Go right ahead. Feel free to read whatever you want. Looking for something? Sure, I don't mind. Go right ahead. If you tell me what you're looking for, maybe I could help you find it. Maybe I could help you find whatever it is you seem to be looking for. I believe that's mine. Please don't open that. Do you mind? One open mind sees more than two open eyes. Remember, niacin. No big deal. You bet. Oh, and don't forget to take the red tag back to Spy Master Bishop. If they're too cryptic for you, check that handbook I gave you if they're too cryptic for you. But you'll also need the plug-in keyboard, and unfortunately I have no idea where it is. One of my guys probably left it in the park somewhere. It needs to be reprogrammed. Open up the back. Should be some instructions on the clipboard. Got the arm right here. Just needed a battery. I told you mine were missing. Maybe somebody found them and left them by that door on purpose, I don't know. But they prove nothing, I do know that. Hey, if you come across a pair of pliers, hang on to them, okay? Mine are missing. Someone must have walked off with them. I've talked to him. I don't really know him, not a bit. Keeping those card readers functioning is practically a full-time job all by itself. Plus, I happen to adore my job. Same thing any normal person would do. Ask him what the heck he was talking about. Is that right? Is that right? So what was behind the door? How appropriate. Considering Kessler's belief in the supernatural and all. Oh, I'd like to see it. Not very. But I've noticed he has a very strange aura, very dark around the edges. Odd for an artist, but then, it's nowhere near as dark as Joy's. Her aura's a mess. I deactivated most of the readers because of the shutdown. Soon as I get done here, I'll get them online again. Sorry. Right. I was in the process of upgrading its main circuitry board. I'm afraid you're going to have to wait until I finish here. Unless you'd like to do it for me. You've got B3 issues. I have work to do. Very rarely. He's not exactly a mechanical genius. As for you, I'd appreciate it if you would kindly remove your nice and deficient little self from my office. Harlan. I knew it bugged him that this place was off limits, but spying on me? That guy's got a real problem. This guy knows I'm taking a risk, so he pays me very well. Now, your turn. It's obvious that you've been nosing around in here. How did you get in? I even let him borrow the blueprints for our coaster, so he could study them, not steal them. I kept it secret because it could be construed as conflict of interest. All right. I have been making money on the side, but it's not what you think. I've been helping someone design a roller coaster. I called him to tell him to rub his neck 3 times a day with witch hazel and lavender. If his neck is really injured, that will cure it. Why are you so eager to accuse me of something? Interesting theory. Unfortunately, it's totally wrong. Are you suggesting that he and I planned the accident? He gets on the coaster, I shut off the power, he cries whiplash and gives me half of whatever he gets from the lawsuit? Look, what are you getting at? No, that would be rude. I'll just call them back. So, once you get that tool from Elliot, you should be all set. No, that would be rude. I'll just call them back. So, once you get that tool from Elliot, you should be all set. It's obvious you don't put much stock in curses, but a word to the wise, there really do exist some doors that no one should open. I'd be very careful if I were you. That's odd. I've been doing a lot of work in there lately and I haven't heard any strange noises. So either your ears are better than mine, or your imagination is. Suit yourself. She's hiding something. And she's hiding from something. Something very big and very dark. Plus, she eats way too many carbs. To say nothing of pencils. When you're all done, remove the red tag and take it to Harlan. That way he'll know it's safe to turn the power back on to the reader, which means you're going to have to get my soldering gun from Elliot Chen. It's not exactly brain surgery. All you have to do is follow the schematic inside the reader. I know he's an ex-bouncer from Trenton. I also know it drives him nuts that this is one of the few places in the park he doesn't have a key for. I've looked all over for those blueprints and can't find them anywhere. I'm sure one of the other engineers knows where they are, but I'm afraid I don't. Sorry, someone stole a horse off the carousel and now the park is cursed. It just seems obvious to me that what you eat, as well as the psycho-spiritual conditions under which you eat it, results in what you are, that's all. Money. I hear they can be very valuable. The man who carved the horses, Kessler, he said if they were ever separated, bad luck would follow. And it has. A little less than 2 years. I started out in maintenance and worked my way up. I've held the supervisory position for the last 10 months. Got a Bachelor of Science degree from Ohio State and everything. I like surprising people. Unpredictability is what makes life interesting. Vitamin B3, niacin. The vibe you're giving off tells me you're low. Nothing that some natural peanut butter on a slice of whole wheat bread once a day won't fix. What's to figure out? Sure. Oh my, that's me. Ordinarily I don't do the hands-on work and I'd be able to shake your hand, Ms. Hello, Nancy. How goes it? Hello, Nancy. Still on the case, I see. Looking for someone?
I can't use that here.
Don't mention it. Saving you has been a pleasure. No prob. Yeah, sure, whatever. And you want the orange juice instead of the soft drink, yada yada yada. Anything else? With milk instead of a soft drink, I know the drill. Anything else? Another fun day, huh? Anything else? 2,480 calories worth of sheer heaven plus one official fun day souvenir spoon coming right up. Anything else? No can do. We're out of ice cream. Should be getting more in any minute. Health nut, huh? Well, whatever. Anything else? One hamburger platter with moo juice. It'll be there in a few. Anything else?
Actually, I just kind of wanted to see if the phone worked.
That's it?
That's it.
So, Miss Oren, what do you want?
That's Drew. Nancy Drew?
Sorry, my cousin's handwriting reeks. So, what do you want, Miss Drew?
Actually, I have a cell phone.
Good, use it. An outside line will cost you an arm and a leg. Besides, I'm not sure how to get you one. Hotel operator, what do you want? Hotel operator, what do you want?
Are you the regular operator?
I'm filling in for my cousin Amber. She took the week off on account of the amusement park being shut down. You don't want an outside line, do you? Room service.
Sounds good. Have fun. Knock 'em dead. Go get 'em. I want to apologize for jumping all over you like that before. The more I thought about it, the more I realized that I would have done just what you did. No hard feelings? Okay, so maybe I'm trying a little too hard. Maybe people's entry codes should be off limits. It's just that this job means everything to me. I don't want to screw it up. I wasn't spying on them. I really think that to do my job right, I should be able to go anywhere in the park. You know, in case of emergencies. I figured if I did a good job here, it would prove to everybody once and for all that I was totally trustworthy. That I was more than just an ex-con. A lot more. You don't know zip. I had nothing to do with the theft of that carousel horse. Just because I did time doesn't mean I'm guilty of every crime that comes down the pike, you know. Of course she called. She hired me because she thought I deserved a second chance. She wanted to make sure I hadn't betrayed her trust. Which I hadn't, by the way. I got the tape right here all queued up. I certainly did. You've really got the system down, don't you? I'll just flip the switch and you'll be good to go. Why would somebody want to do that? Whatever you found was probably just some kind of toy that fell out of some kid's pocket. Ingrid probably took it offline for the shutdown. You're gonna have to go see her, huh? Far as I'm concerned. I'll mention it to Miss Santos, see what she says. You bet. I'll just switch the circuit back on and you'll be all set. Ooh, not good. The guy's already about a month behind in his work. Means the power's been shut off. Ingrid must be working on it. Go talk to her. She probably took a break to go meditate and forgot what she was doing. We didn't start monitoring the carousel until after the theft, but we do have one of those so-called hauntings on tape. Want to see it? You better. What's up? You better. You're not going to be able to do much detective-ing without an access card. Everything I hear in there is weird. I mean, it's a haunted house, right? Sure don't. Never heard any of the other guards say anything about it either. I didn't even know there was a down there. I'll head over there and take a look as soon as I can. In the meantime, maybe you should just kick back for a while, you know? Go to the hotel, put your feet up, order a burger. What? Are you alright? Right, I was. For a while. I've held almost every guard-type job there is. Lived in a lot of different places too. Trenton, Jersey City, Flemington, Cape May. Way I hear it, if he doesn't get caught up like fast, He's gonna be waving bye-bye like soon. I guess he was doing okay up until about a month ago. He's a procrastinator, doesn't really like to work, so he does whatever he can to avoid it. Puts things off to the last minute. Me, I get stuff done right away. You do too, I'll bet. Oh yeah, and good luck finding her. These mind relaxation breaks of hers sometimes last for hours. I ain't no cop. But now that you're here, maybe you can prove it for me. Probably just a glitch in the tape. We use them over and over. I got the tape right here all queued up. I played it for the police. Anyway, here's a map of the park. I put an X where Joy's office is. Oh, I worked in a store. Department store. You know, as a security guard. In Flemington. Not around here. Well, see, Joy's just kinda joyless. It had never occurred to her that you might want to have some fun while you're here. Of course, she's a newbie too, like me. Maybe she'll come around. Come back to me if you burn through that one and need another. Wait, hang on. I know Joy won't give you one of these, so I will. Here you go. Miss Santos's orders. Joy pays all the bills, so she knows pretty much everything that's going on. Plus, she'll give you an access card. Miss Santos wants you to have the run of the place. Elliot Chen, he's the art director. Hardly ever see him. Busy guy. And Joy Trent, park bookkeeper. In fact, she's your next stop. First things first. You won't be meeting her or Elliot Chen, the park's art director, until after you go see the park's bookkeeper, Joy Trent. Well, let's see. She's the park's chief engineer. Believes in all this wacky new age psychobiogenic stuff. Like if you eat food served by a waiter who's in a bad mood, you'll get scurvy or something. Why would anybody bother? It's a nice park. Miss Santos, she's a nice boss. Nice people work here. Nice people come here. It was an accident. Ingrid Corey. You'll probably meet her. She's working during the shutdown too. Makes sense to me. Of course, I'm no expert, and Ingrid swears she can't find anything wrong with the Carousel's electrical system, but then, I kinda think she doesn't want to. Accidents happen. Of course, Ingrid will tell you that these so-called accidents are really the result of the park's karma getting bent out of shape by negative energy, or some such gobbledygook. Me? Nah. I'm too busy to be offended. Truth is, somebody swiped a horse off a carousel and now it's malfunctioning. The police don't think it's that big a deal, and frankly, neither do I. I've only worked here for a couple of weeks. I figured staying on while the park was closed would help me get up to speed on all the equipment and such. Not really. In fact, I don't know, Miss Santos seems to have a lot of faith in you. Apparently more than she does in some people around here. I begged Miss Santos to keep me on while the park's closed. Even agreed to a pay cut, which means you must be Nancy Drew, famous teen detective. That's a relief. It's too early in the day to go sicking the cops on anybody. I'm Harlan Bishop. Sorry, I don't feel like talking right now. My back's kinda sore, probably 'cause somebody just got done stabbing me there. I stepped out for a second, and when I came back, somebody'd left this envelope on my desk. Looks like it's for you. Got your name on it anyway. I just got off the phone with Miss Santos. Where do you get off telling her I'm some kind of jewel-thieving peeping Tom? Hi, Nancy. Uh-oh, does Joy know you got one of her pencils? I hear she counts 'em. Hey, Nancy, what's up? Hi, Nancy. You seen Joy yet? Well, from the way you just marched right on in here past all those sorry we're closed signs, you're either who I think you are or you're one determined gatecrasher. There's no sound, on the tape at least. The band organ started up when the carousel did. Stayed on for about 30 seconds, then stopped. Like I said before, they weren't real impressed. Here, let me toss that envelope for you. I got the tape right here all queued up. Here you go. Enjoy. It's a Captain's Cove fun card. Lets you ride the rides and play the games on the midway. Knock yourself out. Don't wear yourself out. Just watch yourself on that roller coaster. Some kids, they ride it so much they wind up tossing their cookies. Plenty more where this came from. A gal after my own heart. You sure went through that one fast. Hello? Yoo-hoo! The whale is waiting. Still waiting. The whale is getting impatient. I'm waiting. Sorry, that area's off limits. Do you mind? Please don't open that. Will Nancy Drew please report to the security office? Will Nancy Drew please report immediately to the security office? Will Nancy Drew please report immediately to the security office? And by immediately, I mean don't even think about doing anything else. Will the young lady who just entered the park please turn immediately and enter the whale's mouth directly to her left? Thank you.
Call us anytime. Take care. See ya, Nance. Don't take any wooden nickels. Let us know what happens. Bye, Nancy.
See you around the campus.
You're making progress, though.
Yeah, you've narrowed the field.
But I've also managed to annoy all my remaining suspects. They may not want to be that helpful anymore.
A black rose?
Cheery fellow, wasn't he?
Apparently he was extremely moody. Few people outside of his wife could stand him.
What happened?
An alleged friend left me a key that opened that door I told you about. Behind it were some stairs, and at the end of the stairs, there was nothing.
Except a booby trap.
Right.
What happened?
An alleged friend left me a key that opened a door I'd found in there. Behind it were some stairs, and at the end of the stairs, there was nothing.
Except a booby trap.
Right.
So he wouldn't have known anything about the jewels that may or may not have been hidden in the stolen carousel horse.
Right.
Well, don't scratch him off your suspect list just yet, Nan. You know what I always say, the less suspicious they look,
the guiltier they probably are.
Cute, Frank. Very cute.
You mean an organ like they play in a rock band?
I mean an organ that plays carousel music.
Does it have wheels and an engine?
No.
Then it's safe to say we've never repaired one. Rolf Kessler. The name is kind of familiar. Give me a minute, it'll come to me.
Don't let him fool you, Nance. He's sitting at his computer madly typing Rolf Kessler into a search engine.
Rolf Kessler. Carved carousel horses in the early part of the 20th century. Very eccentric. Said if anyone separated his horses once they were part of a carousel, bad luck would follow.
Let me guess. That's who carved the carousel at Captain's Cove. You're a detective. You're not nosy. You're curious.
So where were you snooping this time?
Yeah? Where was it?
Under the carousel. When I showed it to Chief Engineer Ingrid, she claimed ignorance.
I'll bet she did.
Yeah? Where was it?
Under the carousel. I intend to see what Chief Engineer Ingrid has to say about it.
Good idea. Uh-oh, it told her you'd been snooping?
Her computer talks?
It's not her computer. It's this weird-looking thing. It's like somebody threw a bunch of junk together and somehow programmed it to see, hear, and speak.
Why would he lie about a thing like that?
That's exactly what makes me wonder about him.
Keep an eye on him. That's all you can do. What makes you say that?
She just seems a little too calm, cool, and collected, if you know what I mean.
What makes you say that?
For one thing, she didn't like it one bit when I asked to see the blueprints of the roller coaster, which are strangely unavailable.
What makes you say that?
Mentally or emotionally?
Both.
Definite suspect.
You bet. Dish away.
Harlan, the security guard, matches the description of the cellmate of a thief who hid some stolen jewelry in Captain's Cove years ago. Harlan may be after the rest of his loot.
Strong motive. You bet. Dish away.
Well, Harlan, the security guard, could be the one who's after those jewels I told you about. He matches the description of the thief's cellmate.
Strong motive. You bet. Dish away. Why, that's wonderful, Nancy. Attempted murder never fails to boost my spirits either.
No, it means that somebody I've talked to considers me a threat. And that means whoever's behind the mystery at Captain's Cove can only be one of 4 people.
Why would somebody stash jewels in a carousel horse?
Because he'd just stolen them and was trying to escape from the police.
Well, boys and girls, can you say insurance fraud?
What if someone is making up a false claim? What if that was his plan all along? And what if someone in the park is in on the scheme with him?
I had a toy car that used one, until Frank broke it.
Ancient history, Joe. Let it go. Why do you ask?
Yeah, do not eat a hot dog before you ride anything that spins around.
Joe, just hang in there, Nancy.
Yeah, I mean, you've already gotten one person to spill her guts. You're obviously doing something right.
Probably had a bad childhood.
Yeah, probably had an older brother who picked on him all the time.
Joe.
You don't know who gave you the key?
Somebody left it for me in Harlan's office. He didn't see who it was.
Or so he says.
Somebody has obviously caught on to the fact that you know your stuff, Nancy. So be careful.
What do you mean may lead? You haven't opened it yet?
The door's locked. I need a key.
Whoever's responsible for these carousel hauntings obviously knew something about Kessler. Find that person, and you'll find the key to everything. So there might be something to this curse stuff after all.
Frank, I'm shocked. You've always said there is no such thing as curses.
What I mean is, whoever is responsible for these carousel hauntings obviously knew something about Kessler. He's the key, Nan. Kessler's the key. What could insurance fraud possibly have to do with a carousel that's supposedly haunted?
I've been asking myself the same thing.
Don't worry, Nancy. There's an answer and you're gonna find it. You always do. Uh-oh. She could be your perp, Nance.
There's just one problem. They could be working together to defraud the insurance company.
She causes the accident, the guy sues, they split the settlement. Pretty slick.
There's just one problem.
Whoa, he could be your guy.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Be careful. I don't know, Nance. Isn't she one of your suspects?
Well, yeah, but...
Come on, Frank. Since when does Nancy Drew ever turn down A, a plea for help, and B, the chance to solve something, including riddles?
I just think she should be careful, that's all. Why can't she remember her childhood?
Good question. But in any case, I said I'd help her.
Why doesn't she solve them?
I kind of think she's afraid to. Her late father apparently designed the riddles to make her remember her childhood.
Why can't she remember her childhood?
That's a good question. But anyway, apparently Miles has a series of riddles for her to solve, and I told her I'd help.
Help her do what?
Well, the computer, whose name is Miles the Magnificent Memory Machine, has apparently been programmed with a bunch of riddles she'd like me to solve.
I had a talking computer once. Remember, Frank?
That wasn't a computer. It was a plastic keyboard with a tape player inside, which you never should have left on the stairs for somebody to accidentally step on.
Bigfoot.
Joe.
Where do you think it came from? I've always found it difficult to trust someone who has an engineering degree.
Why?
They think they know everything. They're dangerous. Plus, they make me feel stupid.
Ah, then you've got a problem, Nancy. That means the perp is long gone.
Maybe not. It turns out that the horse that was stolen wasn't on the carousel back when the jewels were stolen.
Then you've still got a problem. You've got a perp who didn't find the jewels and is probably a little ticked off.
That person causes the accident, the guy sues, they split the settlement.
New word, boys and girls. Can you say motive?
If that's the case, there has to be some kind of electronic device that transmits as well as receives near, or maybe even attached to, the carousel.
I haven't checked out the carousel's machinery yet.
Make sure you look hard when you do, Nancy. The device is probably pretty small. Electrical interference, consistent with someone using a remote control device.
If that's the case, there has to be some kind of electronic device that transmits as well as receives near, or maybe even attached to, the carousel.
I haven't checked out the carousel's machinery yet.
Make sure you look hard when you do, Nancy. The device is probably pretty small. The curse, that's what.
You really believe that?
Nah, that's the worst part about being a detective, you know? No matter how creepy something seems, there always turns out to be a logical explanation.
Reality. It's the pits, huh?
That's what I'd do.
See if you can take a look at the blueprints for the coaster first. You know, so you can tell if anything was monkeyed with when you check out the tracks.
Oh, I'm just kidding. Pardon me for a second, I gotta go spit.
Quit fooling around, Joe. She's calling long distance, remember?
Sorry. So what's going on?
Hey, Joe, it's Nancy.
I don't want to talk to you.
What did I tell you?
Why not?
Because you get to solve a mystery at an amusement park. He's so jealous he could spit.
Hi, this is Joe.
Hello?
Hey, Frank, it's Nancy.
I'm on too, Nance. What's new? Hello?
Hey, Joe, it's Nancy.
Frank, phone, it's Nancy. How's it going?
Well, I haven't solved the case yet.
Great. Oh, what a shame.
Hi, Nancy. What's up? Hello?
Hey, Frank, it's Nancy.
Hey, Joe, pick up. Actually, he may not want to talk to you. In a word, no.
I'm coming up empty too. Nothing here.
Or here. Sorry, Nance. Ask Joe.
Frank.
That answer your question?
Frank, I think she's talking to you.
I hope not, because right now I got nothing.
Plug in that keyboard and get with the program. Detective rule number 31. Always have the phone number of the local police readily available.
That security guard must have it somewhere.
He probably gets so bored, he writes everything down. If you could see the air coming out of the melody pipes, you'd know which notes comprise the tune. Think, Nancy, there must be a way to do that.
Strip your mind of negativity. Let your thoughts flutter in the breeze. Stay on top of the problem and stick to it until you've solved it.
The art of problem solving also means knowing who has the resources you need. Detective rule number 27. Always play any videotape you find in a suspect's locker.
Immediately, if not sooner. Somebody sent you that key for a reason, Nance.
Those stairs must lead to something. Figuring out which pipes play the melody would help you figure out how to reproduce that carousel tune.
Fishing for info would probably help too.
Your quest right now is to open Harlan's locker.
The way I read Harlan, the combination is probably right there in his office.
Now's your chance to do some serious sleuthing.
Maybe you can unlock a few secrets while Harlan's gone. There's a remote possibility you missed something when you were under the carousel.
Look again, you might just pick up on something.
You got paper roll 3. You've got a new dowel. You're good to go.
Just put them in their place and give a listen. Go get another fun card from Harlan so you can ride the carousel and get the brass ring.
He said he'd give you another one, remember? Harlan's got all those security cameras. Maybe he knows where Ingrid went.
Go get another fun card from Harlan so you can play those games and win something.
He said he'd give you another one, remember?
Leave no trap door unopened and no secret passageway unexplored, I always say.
Especially ones under carousels. I don't know what that key you just got opens, but I do know there's a door in the haunted house that's locked.
Sounds like your next move to me. Getting into that band organ may take a little engineering.
Better go see Miss You Are What You Eat. Don't be trapped into thinking there's nothing in the room where all those gears are.
You might just be floored by what's there. See if the inner room of the carousel is open for business yet.
You're just gonna have to engineer a way into the inner room of the carousel. Really check out Elliot's studio.
Disobeying a guy in uniform is never a good idea, Nancy.
Really check out Elliot's studio.
You know the drill, Nance. Well, if I were a band organ tune, I'd probably be somewhere in the vicinity of the band organ. I'd gear up and find out what makes the merry-go-round go round.
You know Amelia's nickname.
Now find out what it's got to do with spook number 10.
You know Amelia's nickname.
Now find out what it's got to do with spook number 10. As long as Elliot's gone and no one's there to tell tales, maybe you should box up your inhibitions and take a good look around. Or you could try guessing what Joy's favorite band organ tune is.
Or you could do the logical thing and simply
call a psychic hotline. Kidding. 3 words. Merry
go
round. Check it out. Ta-da! You just made yourself a new dowel.
Take it back to the band organ and put it to work.
The person who wrote that book you were supposed to get from Tink isn't the only person who knew Amelia Kessler's nickname.
Any expert on Kessler would know it. I'll bet if you just collect your thoughts, something will occur to you. No new dowel, no solution to that riddle.
Keep at it, Nance. It took me a while to get the hang of using a lathe, too.
An entire semester, as I recall.
No one asked you, Frank. Just pretend that piece of paper you got from Miles is a handkerchief or something and iron it.
Don't ask us to get more specific than that.
Yeah, when it comes to ironing, all we know is what we've seen in commercials. Uh-oh, Frank, do you think she needs to use spray starch?
No. Heck, I don't know. Nance, you're on your own.
Go see if the bookkeeper's missing a pencil. Call your favorite fisherman.
Yeah, he won't mind. I think he's starting to like you.
The lathe lets you control where you cut, how deep you cut, and when you cut. So just turn it on and have at it.
Joe, shame on you. If you had said that in Mr. Pittinger's woodworking class, he would have flunked you faster than you can say catastrophic eye injury.
Oh yeah, right. Put safety goggles on, then turn it on and have at it.
What you need is a nice, flat source of heat that you could apply evenly to that piece of paper.
Maybe you should come up with a laundry list of possible heat sources.
It wouldn't hurt to put a full-court press on this one, Nance. Something's gnawing at me.
Yeah, me too. I can't quite track down the problem, though.
Time to stop coasting, Nance.
Time to start looking for signs of sabotage. You know how that note you translated was in shorthand? Well, here's something in short mouth. Tell Miles, horse name, now.
Look around for a spare rod and clamp it in place.
Elliot must have some around there. He's got everything else.
Give Miles that spoon.
Yeah, lay that puppy on him, then stand back. Go give that card reader you fixed something to read.
You're going to have to twiddle your thumbs until Bess and George get back to you with information on stenography.
Go play that squid tossing game again. There's nothing quite as satisfying as the splat of a plastic cephalopod hitting a hard surface. Know what I mean?
Are you sure we're brothers?
The dowel you make has to be an exact duplicate of the old one.
So before you do anything, first measure everything. Make Harlan see red, and you'll be good to go. Someone in the park must have jotted down the name of the carousel horse Joy's mother bought for her. After all, it was a business transaction.
So if I were a jot in a business transaction, where would I logically be? You're never going to be able to play roll 3 without a take-up dowel.
You could make a new dowel if you had a lathe.
Maybe someone there in the park has one.
If there's only one place in the park where you can order a fun day, there's no room for indecision here. You've got everything you need to fix the card reader outside the roller coaster. Hop to it.
But resist the urge to do it quickly. Electricity can be a cruel taskmaster.
Better do what the man says, Nance.
Yeah, he does not sound happy. You've got roll 3, play it.
There's an art to solving riddles, you know.
Which means maybe you should be discussing the one Miles gave you in Joy with an artist. Go see if Paintman has heard any joyful noises lately. Now's your chance to make like Lewis and Clark.
And do what? Discover the Northwest Passage?
Explore, Frank. They were explorers?
You've got a mouth organ. You know Joy's favorite carousel tune.
Recital time.
You've got a mouth organ. You know Joy's favorite carousel tune.
Recital time. I think you should get roll 3 out of that cabinet.
Somebody make him stop.
Neither of us will feel very secure until you solve that riddle Miles gave you.
No use crying over spilled paint.
You need some joy in your life, unless I'm mistaken.
Which is always a possibility.
You've got enough tokens to get that harmonica.
Opening the cabinet in the gear room and retrieving roll 3 sounds like a winning combination to me.
You need to find someone who can engineer an answer to that riddle Miles gave you and Joy.
You need to see a man about a gun.
The kind of gun that melts stuff, not shoots stuff. Gee, Nance, looks like you'll just have to keep playing games and winning tokens until you have enough to relieve that prize machine of a harmonica. Life is pretty tough.
Maybe Mr. Never Do Today what you can put off till tomorrow knows how to open that door in the haunted house.
He won't mind your asking, we know that. I'll bet an engineer would know how to fix that card reader.
Seems to me that the guy with the most keys stands the biggest chance of unlocking that door in the haunted house for you.
Sounds like a little whaling expedition is in order, Nance.
The stuff with the carousel is spooky and all, but what would really make Paula happy is figuring out what caused that roller coaster accident.
Detective rule number 7. Always do what the person who hired you to do. I think you need to make a phone call. You know, I'm beginning to think that a little engineering knowledge is the key to opening any and all doors. Hidden jewels? A stolen carousel horse? I don't know about you, Frank, but I'm getting a strong whiff of eau de motive.
Me too. I think a call to the local constabulary is in order. There's got to be some sign of roll 3 in that band organ, Nance.
If the band organ access card reader is back online, you're back in the what's my favorite tune business. Maybe Paula has what it takes to open that door you found in the haunted house. When it comes to clues, there are some real gems hanging around in Joy's office. Things that look alike are usually somehow related.
We know you have the devices to figure out what to do next.
Yeah, you're nowhere near hitting the wall on this one yet.
You don't stand a ghost of a chance without the plug-in keyboard.
Unless you can access that band organ, there's no way you're ever going to figure out what Joy's favorite tune is.
Better go see the access expert.
That erstwhile ballroom fairly radiates clues.
That'd be my next stop. You've got a trap door that suddenly opened up in a haunted house.
And you've got 2 guys on the other end of your cell phone who are dying to know where it leads.
In other words,
you go, girl! You can't win that harmonica until you play that broken game.
And you can't play that broken game until you talk to
Ms. Fix-It. Find out what the deal is with Ingrid and this Huffington dude. Joy's office is practically a historical museum.
Don't just waltz through there. Hang around for a while.
There's so much to see, it's scary.
Check out the thing in Joy's office that's black and white and red all over.
There's an embarrassed zebra in Joy's office?
Do what Miles said. The brass prize arrange on its forearm so strange.
Spook number 10 could use a little jewelry, don't you think?
What's your initial response, Joe?
Whom a suspect calls can tell you a lot about whom a suspect is.
Whom a suspect is? Sorry I asked. What do you think, Joe? How many letters does it take to spell clue?
Right now, just 1.
Like the man said, X marks the spot.
Brass prize?
Carousel?
Need we say more? Time to stop playing games and locate a harmonica.
Don't you mean she should start playing games?
Yeah, I guess I do. Have you taken note of everything in Ingrid's work area? You've got everything you need to retrieve the letter you saw in the room where all the gears are, so snap to it.
Oh, Joe, knock it off.
What are you waiting for? Make like Jonah and see what happens.
Do what Miles said and give Amelia's nickname a spin on spook number 10.
Then stand back. Spook number 10 is pretty freaky.
Play roll 3 and keep your eyes open.
And be grateful Miles doesn't need to hear the whole song.
Thanks to Harlan, you have access to Ingrid's work area right at your fingertips.
Detective rule number 28. When in doubt, snoop.
That seahorse isn't doing you any good in your pocket.
Trade it in for something else.
Something in paper, maybe. You can't very well investigate a haunted carousel without actually seeing it, now can you?
Do the red tag thing so we can see what happens when spook number 10 powers up. You've got tissue strips, you've got tape. Put them together and you'll be ready to roll. Time to see a game about a horse. This is no time to turn agoraphobic, Nance. Get out there. Do something with that weirdo arm Ingrid gave you.
Preferably reattach it to spook number 10.
The problem is, what's to keep those tissue strips from just blowing off the pipes when the band organ plays?
That's a sticky question, all right.
You can tell a lot about a suspect by the company he keeps.
Sometimes a clue is just a phone call away. I strongly suggest you call the person who's footing all your bills while you're there.
Can't hurt. You know what that red tag means.
To say nothing of the missing appendage.
By the time this is over, you're going to know how to fix everything in the park. If you attached something light to the top of the organ pipes, you could tell when a certain note is being played.
Make sure you check out everything in Harlan's locker.
That way, you're sure to avoid disappointment. Stop playing games and retrieve the letter that you saw inside the carousel.
Actually, maybe you should start playing games.
You know, Frank, Something tells me our advice will never win us any prizes.
A brand new Easter egg! That is correct! Congratulations, felicitations, good job! For your efforts, wit, grace, and general aptitude, we are pleased to present you with... I'm sorry, but that's incorrect. But thank you for playing Arikari's Challenge! Type your answer onto the screen using your keyboard. What is the capital of Madagascar? What is the capital of New Zealand? What is the capital of Wisconsin?
Hello?
You have been chosen to be the lucky winner of a valuable prize, but first you must answer this very important question to win!
I'm ready. This is Nancy.
Hi, it's me.
Hi, Nancy. How's it going? Why are you calling?
Well, I'm at Rose's right now in San Francisco, and I can't figure out where to find the key to the attic.
Oh, that's easy. It's in the old cash register in the basement.
Ah, okay, that'll help. You're awesome.
No, you are awesome.
Well, I gotta run. Got a case to solve, you know. Say hi to Charlie for me.
Will do. Good luck. This is Nancy.
Hi, we're doing a survey. Did you ever hear the story about the idiot who always said what?
What?
Exactly.
Hello?
Hello, we're doing a phone survey. Can you check to see if the refrigerator is running?
I'm not at home right now, so I really can't check.
Oh, okay.
Do you need anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Ah! 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 Well, well, little icing on the cake.
No, wait. Look what I have. They're diamonds. Real diamonds. Someone stole them 23 years ago and stashed them in the park.
Well, well, little icing on the cake. Right on all counts. Unfortunately, you're not going to get to tell anyone else. Ever.
No, wait. Look what I have. They're diamonds. Real diamonds. Someone stole them 23 years ago and stashed them in the park.
Right on all counts. Unfortunately, you're not going to get to tell anyone else. Ever. You think?
You let everyone believe you were just a hopeless procrastinator. But this is the real reason you're behind in your work, isn't it?
You think? Nancy, Nancy, Nancy. What have you done?
It's what you've done. You stole the horse, you fabricated the whole haunted carousel thing to increase its value, and now you're making not just one forgery, but several.
Nancy, Nancy, Nancy. What have you done? Haven't heard from Joy yet. Out. I've got you, Nancy. You're cornered. The fat lady singing. If you must, keep it real. Rock on. Thanks a lot. That red tag stuff is an Ingrid Harlan thing. You'll have to check with one of them. You're kidding me. You know, Nance, much as I hate to see you leave, you should probably be telling this to RoboCop out there, not me. I'd be impressed, except for one thing. No amount of publicity can change the fact that the stolen horse was not carved by Rolf Kessler. I don't remember. I could probably dig up an old picture and look. Sure. Got a lathe, wooden rods, safety goggles. Knock yourself out. I gotta go run an errand, though, so try not to cut off any appendages until I get back. A riddle. I love riddles. Okay, let's see. Silvery remains. Has to be something silver that's left over, right? I'll take that, thank you. Ask Joy. That nutty professor father of hers always had these little secret projects going in the park, even after he sold his interest. Miss Santos didn't have the heart to boot him out. Nah. Joy Trent, she's like invisible even when she's visible, if you get my drift. And that Rent-A-Cop, I've got no desire to see anything of him. We met at an art show last year. She insisted I take that piece home with me. She'd never admit it, but she thinks I'm hot. You bet. Here you go. You know, Nance, I've got a lot of work to do. And much as I love our little gab fests, my work just ain't getting done. So I'm afraid, as of now, this chat room is closed. Bye-bye. Okay, if you want to know the truth, I was going to try my hand at carving a carousel horse to replace the stolen one. I didn't want to tell anybody in case I stank at it. Well, then I guess I stand corrected. Are you kidding? As long as you're here, I have a legitimate reason for not working. I don't mind one iota. Positive. I have no idea. Next riddle, come on. I'm on a roll, baby. I'm in a groove. Bring it on. It's been their specialty for like centuries. Comes with a souvenir spoon. Silvery, as in spoon, get it? Captain's Quarters Day. Day, spelled D-A-E, as in Sunday. That's it. There's this fantastic sundae you can get only at the hotel. They call it a fun day. Okay, now, if 2-bit means worth a quarter, 4-bit would mean worth 2 quarters. Quarters. Captain's quarters, maybe? What, like a fight or something? How could we? He's one of the nicest, friendliest, most helpful guys I've ever met. Totally creeps me out. Dude is way too eager to make my business his business, that's all. But I certainly hope you're not suggesting that I arranged for the park to be shut down by somehow manufacturing this curse thing, because that would be ridiculous. I'd be lying if I said the shutdown wasn't helping me get caught up. Meeting deadlines has never been my forte. Right. Around 20 years ago, somebody bought one of the horses off the Carousel. The guy who owned the park back then commissioned some hack to replace it. Nope. Well, when they're the original horses, they can be valuable, yes, but I was talking about the one that was stolen. It was not an original. You mean because I'm behind in my work? Somebody who's into junk? Not a lick. Know why? Because I'm pulling your leg, that's why. Come on. That was no accident. It was sabotage. What do I know? I'm just an artist. Go ask our naturopathic engineer person. I hear you're out to solve the curse of Captain's Cove. These things happen. So, imagine my surprise when she told me you're a detective. And do not come back unless and until Joy Trent calls me, okay? Out. Watch out for that table. I may have left some paint sitting out. Sorry, can't talk. Busy, busy, busy. Hey, Nance, what's going on? All right, break time. Nancy, you're a procrastinator's dream. Know that? Come in. Ask me questions. Ask me lots of questions. Well, Miss Destructo returns. Hang on, I'll be right with you. Be my guest. Help yourself. Been meaning to return it to her, but I've been a little busy. Wood, rope, ostrich feathers, crepe paper, you name it. Chances are I've ordered several hundred pounds of it at least one time or another. I know my way around this place like the back of my hand. Browse to your heart's content. Read whatever you want. Sure, go ahead. Gotcha. Watch out, Nance. This place is riddled with trapdoors, and I know where all of them are. May I help you? Knock yourself out. No, go right ahead. Do you always go poking around in other people's stuff? Ooh, ow, ow, ooh, ooh, ow, ow, ooh. Ow, ow, ow. End of the road, detective. Ouch, come on, quit it. Ouch, hey. Give it up, Nance. All you're doing is ticking me off. Watch out for that table. I may have left some paint sitting out. You might as well give up. You're toast now, Nancy. Hang on, I'll be right with you.
Welcome to Barnacle Blast! Uh-oh, you are using your last fun credit, so I'm keeping your card. But don't worry, you can always get a new one. Now blast all those nasty barnacles off the ship. This is Barnacle Blast. After this, you'll have just one fun credit left on your card. Now blast all those nasty barnacles off the ship. Let's play Barnacle Blast. You have 2 fun credits left on your card. Now blast all those nasty barnacles off the ship. You're about to play Barnacle Blast. Looks like you have 3 fun credits left on your card. Now blast all those nasty barnacles off the ship. Time for a game of Barnacle Blast. You have 4 fun credits left on your card. Now blast all those nasty barnacles off the ship. Time for a game of Swimmer's Itch. Uh-oh, you are using your last fun credit, so I'm keeping your card. But don't cry, just get a new one. Your mission is to get the swimmer to the beach. We call this game Swimmer's Itch. By the way, you have 1 fun credit left on your card. Your mission is to get the swimmer to the beach. Let's play Swimmer's Itch. You have 2 fun credits left on your card. Your mission is to get the swimmer to the beach. You're about to play Swimmer's Itch. You have 3 fun credits left on your card. Your mission is to get the swimmer to the beach. Welcome to Swimmer's Itch. You have 4 fun credits left on your card, by the way. Now get the swimmer to the beach. How about a game of Squid Toss? Uh-oh, you are using your last fun credit, so I'm keeping your card. But that's no problem, just get a new one. Catapult the squid through the hoop. Ahoy, matey! Welcome to the Squid Toss. After this, you'll just have 1 fun credit left on your card. Catapult the squid through the hoop. Time to play Squid Toss. In case you were wondering, you have 2 fun credits left on your card. Catapult the squid through the hoop. Lucky you! You're about to play Squid Toss. By the way, you have 3 fun credits left on your card. Catapult the squid through the hoop. Nothing like a game of Squid Toss, is there? You have 4 fun credits left on your card. Catapult the squid through the hoop. The carousel will be starting in 3 seconds, so hang on tight. And don't forget to try for the brass ring. Here we are at the carousel. After this, you'll just have 1 fun credit left on your card. Have a good one. Time to ride the carousel. You have 2 fun credits left on your card. Mount up, mateys. You're about to experience the Captain's Cove Carousel. In case you were wondering, you have 3 fun credits left on your card. Enjoy the ride. Let's go for a spin on the carousel. By the way, you have 4 fun credits left on your card. Enjoy the ride. Ha-ha. Welcome to the carousel. Uh-oh, you're using your last fun credit, so I'm keeping your card. But it's okay, just get a new one. Mount up, mateys.
She was riding the carousel. Ever yours, Nancy. And Joy, when I gave her the picture of her mother, she started smiling and has yet to stop. Inventing Miles was the best thing her late father could have done for her. In fact, when I went to the park to say goodbye just now, she wasn't in her office. As for Ingrid, she promptly attributed Elliot's bad behavior to a deficiency in some mineral I couldn't pronounce. Harlan, on the other hand, adores me now, because not only did he share the credit for busting Elliot, but his sudden fame brought him 3 job offers. He's staying on at Captain's Cove out of loyalty to Paula, but he's happy knowing that being an ex-con will probably never be an issue for him again. Elliot admitted to stealing the carousel horse and planting the remote control device. He knew that publicity from the hauntings would increase the value of his forgeries. Needless to say, he's gone back to not liking me. Dear Ned, after trapping Elliot, I managed to pry the exit open and had Harlan call the police.
We'll be right here. Toodles. Hasta la vista. You're doing great. Be careful. Good luck. Keep in touch. Keep up the good work. Yeah, call the Hardy Boys. They'd never admit it, but I don't think they're doing much these days. Someone purposefully lured you into a trap? You must be getting close to something, Nan. Joy's mother bought her a carousel horse?
That's what was in the note I found. It was a memo about the sale.
The horse had a name?
Kessler liked to name the horses he carved. This one's name was Glory.
Too bad. It was such a promising lead. Well, no harm done.
Except for the fact that Paula told Harlan my suspicions. He promptly called me into his office and bawled me out. I don't blame him.
Don't go second-guessing yourself, Nan. You did the right thing. Or so she says.
She's also been making money on the side by helping someone design a roller coaster.
Or so she says. I agree with Bess. Don't go erasing her from your suspect list just yet, Nan. L.H. Aren't those the initials of that guy who's suing the park? Yeah, the alleged whiplash victim, Lance Huffington.
His phone number was also on the note.
Does that mean you saw the combination?
Well, yes, but...
Then use it. This is your chance to find out what the deal is with Ingrid. Yeah, you won't even be breaking and entering. Okay, so you'll be trespassing, but that's only if you're caught. So just don't get caught. Harlan just started working there, right? And he doesn't like to talk about where he worked before, right?
And he's been in prison. I saw the number for his parole officer while I was snooping around in his office.
Harlan just started working there, right? And he doesn't like to talk about where he worked before, right? I think you're onto something, Detective Drew. How do you know?
She confessed. Her father was right. Dredging up all those memories was good for her. She's apologizing to Paula even as we speak.
So what's her favorite tune?
Well, that's kind of the problem.
Let me guess. Little Miss Headcase can't remember. Yikes, that's a little twisted. Does it by any chance smell like lemon?
As a matter of fact, it does.
Then I bet the riddle is written in lemon juice. Lemon juice? What are you talking about? Stand on your head and cluck like a chicken.
I had to eat this huge sundae. Well, technically I didn't have to eat it. All I really needed was a spoon that came with it, but I couldn't let it go to waste.
Of course not. So what'd she say? A hidden love letter? That's so romantic. What'd it say?
Well, apparently she'd left him, and he was begging her to come back.
Wait a minute. If the letter was to her, why was it inside the carousel? So what'd it say?
Well, it wasn't really all that exciting. It was a memo about how somebody bought the horse that was called Glory off the carousel, and how it would have to be replaced.
All that research for that? Bummer. So what'd it say?
Well, it wasn't really all that exciting. It was a memo about how somebody bought the horse that was called Glory off the carousel, and how it would have to be replaced.
Which verifies what you'd heard before. How'd she get out of touch with it? That blows your hidden jewels theory, darn it. Not necessarily. It just means that if somebody did hide jewels in the horse, whoever went after them didn't find them. Still working on it. Sorry. Someone tried to kill you? Ouch.
I found one of Joy's chewed-up pencils just before it happened, but she says she doesn't know how it got there.
Just from now on, stay away from that coaster, Nan. Stick to the carousel. Man, I never thought I'd hear myself say that. Someone tried to kill you? Ouch.
I found one of Joy's chewed-up pencils just before it happened.
What do you think that means? It means she's going to be paying Joy a visit. That's what it means. But is he too friendly? That's the question. Yeah. Maybe he's trying to deflect suspicion by making nice. And you, of course, were snooping.
Well...
That's our girl. Say no more. We'll do some research and get right back to you. We will? I barely know how to spell stenography, let alone research it. We'll call you when we're through. We can do this, Bess. What is with all this wee stuff? That is like the hottest car ever. One of the most expensive, that's for sure. She must make a ton of money.
Either that or she's about to come into a ton of money.
The engine oil thickens. No, is he cute?
Well, for starters, Bess, Ingrid Corey is a she.
That's cool. Does she know her stuff? Hidden jewels? I love it! That's almost as good as buried treasure! But if they recovered the jewels, why is the carousel still going around by itself?
I'm not sure yet, but the detective who is in charge of investigating the robbery is helping me look into it.
Don't let George discourage you, Nancy. I, for one, think you're on the right track. You can never go wrong when jewelry is involved. Hidden jewels? I love it! That's almost as good as buried treasure. That's interesting. But it doesn't explain why the carousel's been going around by itself. Pay no attention to George, Nancy. I happen to think you're on the right track. You can never go wrong when jewelry is involved. How so?
She chews on pencils, for one thing, and she badmouthed Paula Santos.
She badmouthed her boss in front of you? How so?
She chews on pencils, for one thing, and she badmouthed Paula Santos. Seems to have this big chip on her shoulder.
I'll bet she's not cute, is she?
Well, she's not very social, that's for sure.
Aha! A sociopath! What'd I tell ya? A woman? Neat. What's she like?
I haven't really talked to her yet. So far, my dad has pretty much arranged everything.
I think you should be calling her, not us, Nance. Wow, a woman with her very own amusement park. She may have just become my idol. Is he cute? Bess, what difference does that make? Ugly people have chips on their shoulders and are more likely to commit crimes, George. I read that somewhere. Either read it or saw it on a talk show. Is he cute? Bess, what difference does that make? Ugly people have chips on their shoulders and are more likely to commit crimes, George. I read that somewhere. Either read it or saw it on Oprah. Carousels aren't exactly my thing anymore. Mine neither. You have an entire amusement park all to yourself, and you haven't even been over there yet? Good grief, Nancy. What kind of teenager are you? Why does she have such a sophisticated computer?
This thing is not that sophisticated. In fact, it looks like it was made out of spare parts.
Do you think Joy made it?
I doubt it.
Well, the next time it catches you snooping, just smile sweetly, then rip its little plug right out of the wall.
Let me guess. You're going to a movie.
Yes! He gets free tickets! And free refills! There you have it, Nance. Bess has achieved nirvana, and I'm free to move about the room without fearing for my life. So what's new with you?
It's okay, guys. I understand.
I'm sorry, Nancy. As you may have guessed, Matt hasn't called yet, and he is just so cute! Anyway, what's up?
Hey, George. Good. You're there, too.
Barely. I almost got caught standing between Bess and the phone just now. When it rings, she's like a one-woman cattle stampede. Yeah, right. Uh-huh. She's an engineer, don't forget. Making booby traps is probably right up her alley. My money's on more. Don't trust anyone, Nan. What happened to it?
I have the feeling I'll find out when I solve the final riddle Miles gave us.
My mother never bought me a carousel horse. So call him. Find out what he and Ingrid are up to. Maybe they're partners. Maybe they staged that roller coaster accident just so they could get money from the insurance company.
I can't very well call him and just accuse him of something. I'll try to get him talking. Maybe he'll say something incriminating.
It won't be the first time you've gone fishing, Nancy Drew. So now what?
Now I wait to hear from Harlan's parole officer. If it turns out he was that jewel thief's cellmate.
You bust him. No, she calls the cops and lets them bust him. The guy's a security guard. He could be dangerous. I think you better call Miss Santos.
We already talked. Turns out Harlan told her he'd been in prison when he interviewed for the job. She hired him anyway.
Oh my gosh, he could be your guy. What are you gonna do now?
I'm waiting to hear from his parole officer to verify that he is the guy. I'm debating whether to call Paula Santos in the meantime.
I think you should, Nan. If you don't call her and you pull something else, she could be a little ticked. At least you don't have to worry about the roller coaster anymore. Yeah, now you can really check out the rest of the park. You're making progress, Nan. Just hang in there. What about the carousel? Was she responsible for all that haunting stuff, too? Just be careful, Nan. This lady sounds none too stable. Yeah, she sounds like old dynamite. One false move and kaboom! Sounds like she could use a good shrink. I'd leave her on your suspect list. That's for sure. If you ride something in lemon juice, it's invisible until you expose it to heat. How can you expose it to heat without burning the paper?
Don't worry, I'll figure something out.
We've said it before, and we'll say it again. So did they ever get back together?
I don't know what happened to them.
Well, if you find out, tell us. It's like something out of a romance novel. There's a ballroom there?
I haven't seen one.
Maybe they made it into something else. Do you think the workshop is still there?
You can bet I'm going to look.
Maybe Kessler's still there, too. Maybe he's like the phantom of the amusement park. 100-year-old phantom? I'm sure, Bess.
Because he never sent it, he was too scared that she'd reject him. So he hid the letter inside the carousel, hoping someday he'd have enough guts to send it.
But he never did. Oh my gosh, romantic and tragic. So whoever put it there must know a lot about electronics. Like that chief engineer person, maybe? She'd be my next stop. So we don't know if it had anything to do with those hidden jewels or not.
Nope.
Double bummer. Because they knew there were jewels hidden inside?
Could be.
Looks like we'll never know. Darn it.
To be told a truth long since put away, bring me the silvery remains of a 4-bit day. Any idea what that means?
I was just going to ask you the same thing. You're on your own on this one, Nan. A riddle. Great. Let's hear it. So how does a computer help somebody get back in touch with one's inner child?
Well, Miles, that's the computer's name, is going to jar her memory by making Joy solve some riddles. The first of which is...
Keep your eyes peeled, Nan. Whatever that means. That expression has always creeped me out. He can catch up. Which means maybe he had something to do with the accident that shut it down. Which means we've got 2 words for him, don't we, Bess? Uh-oh. Sounds like another candidate for the...
Thank you so much. You guys are the best.
So go back to the hotel and check your laptop. We emailed a little tutorial to you. But you gotta promise to let us know what the note you translate says.
I promise. Thanks again, you guys. Hello?
Hi, Nance. We found some stuff on stenography. Oh, so now it's we, huh? Okay, George found most of it, surprise, surprise. But I helped. Looks like your list of suspects just got longer. Yikes. An intelligent wacko. Uh-oh. Hiding something, perhaps? Maybe there's some truth to that. Phew. You know a case is complicated when the person who hires you winds up on your suspect list. So maybe she's getting back at her by sabotaging the park. Better keep an eye on her, Nancy. Suspect list. Suspect list. Suspect list. Suspect list. Sounds like he could be trying to butter you up. And we know what that means, don't we, Bess? Well, I guess that's not surprising. But if he was evasive, we know what that means, don't we, Bess?
Oh my gosh, he called!
Yes! We're going out next Friday! Listen to you, you're probably making Nancy feel terrible. Maybe I should answer the phone from now on. You wouldn't dare. Of course we have time to talk. I'm dying to hear what's going on. Besides, if Matt tries to call me and gets a busy signal, that's a good thing. He'll think I'm popular. Fill us in, Nance, quick, before Bess's logic starts getting really twisted and I get nauseous. My parents yanked it. She wouldn't pick up when it was some loser she didn't want to talk to. Her mother got tired of hearing the phone ring all the time. Not all those calls were from losers. Sometimes I was playing hard to get. Anyway, how are things at the amusement park? Yeah, I'm here, which is more than I can say for my cousin. Oh, Nancy, I was hoping you were this guy named Matt. He works at the movie theater in the mall, and he is so cute. And last night he asked me for my phone number. She's become downright dangerous, Nance. If that phone rings and you happen to be standing between it and Bess, you're toast. Oh, Nancy, his name's Matt, and he is so cute. He works the concession stand at the movie theater in the mall. A cute guy with an endless supply of candy and butter flavoring, right at his fingertips. We are talking major crush. Oh, Nancy, his name's Matt, and he is so cute. He works the concession stand at the movie theater in the mall. A cute guy with an endless supply of gummy bears and butter flavoring, right at his fingertips. We're talking major crush.
Whoa, you were obviously hoping I was someone else.
Well, kinda. Hello?
Hi, Bess, it's Nancy.
Hey, what's the latest? Hello?
Hey, Bess, it's me.
Hi, Nance. Hello?
Hi, Bess, it's only me.
Oh, hi, Nance. Hello?
Hey, Bess, it's Nancy.
Oh, hey, Nancy. Nada. How about you, George? Zip. Sorry, Nan. I was afraid you were going to ask that. We're temporarily out. Nothing here. I'm not exactly brimming with ideas either. Uh-oh, I hope you're not talking to me. Hintless over here, too. If you tape something light, like a strip of tissue paper, to the top of each pipe, you could tell which pipe is making which note in the tune. I'll bet Elliot has what you need. See what's on that videotape you found. Harlan's got a VCR right there on his desk. Just stick it in and play it. See what's at the bottom of those stairs you found in the haunted house. There's gotta be something down there. Why else would somebody bother to send you that key? In order to play that Carousel tune for Miles, you're either going to have to memorize it or figure out what pipes are playing the melody and write down the notes. I think you ought to call you-know-who. You're exceptionally cute today. You know that, George? You need to figure out the combination to Harlan's locker. I wouldn't label that guy as being particularly imaginative. Look around his office. I bet the numbers are right there for the asking. As long as Harlan's not there, you might as well take a look around his office, don't you think?
No telling what little secrets he has locked away. Go through the trapdoor and take another look under the carousel.
Take a really, really good look. Now that you've made a new dowel, just put it in the band organ, put roll 3 in the top, and let her rip.
Bad choice of words when you're talking about a roll of paper that's almost 100 years old, Bess.
Sorry. Go get another fun card from Harlan so you can ride the carousel and get the brass ring.
He said he'd give you another one, remember? Go see Harlan.
Yeah, maybe he knows where Ingrid is. Go get another fun card from Harlan so you can play those games and win something.
He said he'd give you another one, remember?
How can you stand knowing there's a trap door in the gear room of the carousel and not knowing where it goes?
Check it out, Nan.
Ask Ingrid about the band organ. Maybe the key Harlan gave you opens the door you found by the radiator in the haunted house.
Take a good look around the gear room of the carousel.
Where there's gears, there's grease. Better watch where you walk. See if your access card will work in the reader outside the gear room of the carousel now. Go ask Ingrid why your access card won't work in the card reader for the inner room of the carousel.
Check out everything in Elliot's studio.
You'd better go see what Harlan wants.
At least he doesn't sound mad this time. Check out everything in Elliot's studio.
You know the drill, Nan. Check out the band organ.
The third roll Miles mentioned must be around there somewhere.
Check out the inside of the carousel. You know, the room where all the gears are that make it go around.
There must be a door to it somewhere.
Head to the haunted house and see what the deal is with Spatsy and spook number 10. Head to the haunted house and see what the deal is with Spatsy and spook number 10. Elliot's not in his studio. Now's your chance to do some big-time snooping. What you have to do now is find out what Joy's favorite band organ tune is.
And there's only one way you're going to find that out.
Ask her. I think it's time to take an up-close and personal look at the carousel.
Good plan.
You did it! Just take the dowel you just made with you and you're all set.
Without that book on Kessler, you and Joy are never going to solve that riddle.
Wait a minute. The guy who wrote the article you read when you were snooping around Elliot's, that carousel expert, he might know Amelia's nickname.
Anton Sukov. Call him, Nan. It's worth a shot.
Making a new dowel is the only way you're going to get that band organ to work.
Keep trying, Nan. You can do it.
You've got an iron. Just put the piece of paper you got from Miles on the ironing board, make sure the iron's on, then move it back and forth across the paper.
But be careful. Sometimes Bess's ideas don't work out so well.
Go ask Joy what that pencil was doing by the all-stop switch of that killer coaster. Call Tink and see if you can get that book on Kessler from him.
Hopefully he keeps it there in the park.
Move the pointy doojiggy to make the cut where you want, and use the clicky whatever on the right to control how far into the rod the pointy doojiggy goes. Then just turn the lathe on and off until you've made a new dowel that looks just like the old one.
But make sure you put goggles on first or you'll get splinters in... pointy wooden thingies in your eyes.
Ha ha. I'll bet if you ironed that piece of paper, you could see what's written on it.
See if there's an iron in your hotel room, Nan. Something's gnawing at me.
Yeah, me too. I think you should get the lead out and take another look at those roller coaster tracks.
Check out the roller coaster.
See if you can figure out what caused it to suddenly just stop. Now that you've translated that shorthand, you can go tell Miles the name of the carousel horse the park sold to Joy's mother.
Take one of the spare rods that are beside the lathe and suspend it between the clamps.
Give Miles the spoon you got with the fun day and see what happens.
Now you can finally use your access card to get into the roller coaster.
And you can finally figure out what caused the accident. Hopefully.
Give Harlan the red tag that was on the card reader you fixed.
Once he gets it, you can turn the power back on and you can use your access card to get into the roller coaster.
While you're waiting for us to get you that info on stenography, why don't you go back to the hotel and chill?
Speaking of chill, you could order another one of those fun days.
Bess, to make a new dowel, the first thing you're going to have to do is measure the old one.
Make sure you pay attention to the grooves, how far apart they are, how deep they are.
Use the ruler that's on Elliot's workbench. Take the red tag off the card reader you fixed and take it to Harlan.
Once he gets it, he can turn the power back on and you can use your access card to get into the roller coaster. Someone at the park had to have written down the name of the carousel horse Joy's mother bought for her.
Check the file cabinet in Joy's office. That's where all the records should be.
You need to replace that broken dowel or you're never going to be able to play roll 3.
Elliot has a lathe. Take the old dowel and see if he'll let you make a new one.
What if Nancy doesn't happen to know what a lathe is?
Then Nancy is going to find out. Order a fun day from room service and get that souvenir spoon.
Let me see if I've got this straight. Not only will you actually be helping someone by eating that sundae, you'll be charging it to your room, which means that someone else will be paying for it. Try not to take this the wrong way, Nancy. But sometimes I really hate you. Fix the card reader outside the roller coaster so you can get inside and check out the coaster.
Just install the macro resistor. Make sure the resistors are arranged in the right order. and then solder everything into place. Go get the soldering gun from that art director guy.
Harlan sounded mad. You better do as he says and report to his office.
Yeah, like now.
Put roll 3 in the bottom of the roll frame in the band organ and see what happens. Go back to Elliot's and see if Joy has called him yet. While you wait for Joy to call Elliot, maybe you should do some exploring. You still need to solve that silvery remains riddle.
Somebody's gotta know something that can help you.
Now that you've got a harmonica, you can play Joy's favorite band organ tune for Miles. Miles said Joy's favorite tune was on roll 3.
Look in the cabinet in the gear room and find roll 3.
You need to get back on Elliot's good side or you're not going to get anywhere.
Better go tell Joy to call him.
Use the tokens you've won to get a harmonica from the prize machine. Use your access card to open the gear room on the carousel and find the cabinet.
Then use the combination Tink gave you to open it. Go get the soldering gun from that art director guy.
Yeah, you haven't met him yet. Maybe he's cute. Play some games and win the tokens you need to get that harmonica from the prize machine. Have you asked Elliot about the door by the radiator in the haunted house?
It's a long shot, but leave no stone unturned, I always say.
I've never heard you say that. You need to see somebody about getting that card reader outside the roller coaster fixed.
I'll bet the engineer would know how to do it. Maybe Harlan knows something about that locked door in the haunted house. Go check out the roller coaster.
See if you can figure out what caused the accident that shut the park down. Use the plug-in keyboard to reprogram that game on the midway.
Looks like you're gonna have to call this Tink person.
Now we know what Miles meant when he said you're gonna have to tink about this one. Barrel of laughs, that Miles. You still need to solve that hidden door you found in the haunted house.
Somebody's gotta know something that can help you.
The theft of the carousel horse might have something to do with that 20-year-old jewel heist you read about in Joy's office.
Call the police department and ask for that Detective KJ Paris guy.
It never hurts to have the phone number of the local police at your fingertips.
Harlan must have written their number down somewhere. Take another look around that security area of his.
Did you take note of everything when you opened the band organ? See if Ingrid's gotten the band organ card reader online like she said she would.
Once you open up the band organ, look for roll 3 so you can figure out Joy's favorite carousel tune.
I'll bet that door you found in the haunted house leads to Kessler's old workshop.
Why don't you call Paula and see if she has a key? There's something on the wall in Joy's office that's just crying for attention.
You should be able to detect a real gem of a clue there. That symbol on the panel near the radiator looks just like the symbol on that thing that was under the carousel. Maybe the two are somehow related.
Stand near the radiator and see what happens when you press the button on the device you found.
Go look for the plug-in keyboard you need to reprogram that game.
I'm haunted by the thought that it's somewhere kind of strange.
Not that we're trying to spook you or anything. You need to figure out what Joy's favorite band organ tune is. And to do that, you need to get into the band organ.
Ask Ingrid why your access card won't open it.
Go look for the door Kessler mentioned in that letter you found.
Go down the stairs beneath the trap door and see where they lead.
This is it, you guys. Something big's about to happen. I just know it.
To get a harmonica, you're going to have to win an anchor, a seashell, and a mermaid token.
And since you won't be able to win a seashell or a mermaid until that broken game gets fixed, looks like you'd better go see Chief Engineer Ingrid. Go grill Ingrid about her relationship to Lance Huffington.
Take a really good look around Joy's office.
Sometimes you can have such a ball looking at old pictures, it's spooky.
Make sure you check out everything in Joy's office.
Especially the thing that's black and white and red all over. Slide the brass ring onto Spook 10's forearm and see what happens. Call that number you found on Ingrid's work table.
Yeah, find out for sure who LH is.
For crying out loud. How can you stand having what's obviously a very old letter in your possession and not knowing what's in it?
Easy, Bess. Not everyone's as curious as you.
Well, they should be. Read the letter, Nance.
Go see that Joy Trent bookkeeper person. Use the map Harlan gave you. He put an X where her office is.
Sounds like once you get an access card from her, you'll be able to go anywhere you want in the park. I'll bet you anything the brass prize Miles mentioned in his riddle refers to the brass ring you can win when you ride the carousel.
Sounds like you'd better mount up, Nan.
Now all you need is a harmonica.
Check out the midway.
You may be in for a surprise. This may be your only chance to look around Ingrid's while she's not there, so make sure you look everywhere.
I'll bet there's something noteworthy on that table she's always standing in front of. Use the paper yo-yo to knock down the letter that's on the ledge inside the carousel.
And hurry up! I can't wait to see what it says. Find out where that voice is coming from.
Yeah, do what it says and see what happens.
Enter Amelia's nickname on that spin lock thing on spook number 10 and see what happens. Play roll 3 and watch to see which strips flutter.
The order in which they flutter. You gotta watch that, too.
At least you don't have to write down the notes for the whole song. Miles just needs to hear the first 8.
Thanks to Harlan, you have Ingrid's security code. Use it.
Yeah, you can snoop around in her work area while she's gone and maybe figure out what's really going on with her.
You've got a seahorse token.
Use it to get the paper yo-yo out of the prize machine.
Are you nuts? You've got an entire amusement park all to yourself.
Get in there and enjoy. Get to work. Take the red tag back to Harlan so he can turn the power to spook number 10 back on. Put a strip of tissue paper on the top of each melody pipe and tape them down. Use the fun card Harlan gave you to play the game where you can win a seahorse token.
Then you can use it to get that paper yo-yo from the prize machine. Head out the door.
Next thing you know, you'll be at the park and you can start having fun. Start investigating.
Go reattach Spook 10's arm.
Glad I don't have to do it.
It's just a robot, Bess.
The whole concept of dismemberment just kinda creeps me out. You're going to need something to attach those tissue strips to the organ pipes.
Look around for some tape.
Call that Louise person whose number you saw in Harlan's appointment book.
Yeah, you can tell a lot about a person by who his friends are. Why don't you call the woman who hired you?
After all, she's footing all your bills. The least you can do is give her a call. Spook 10 was probably red tagged because somebody's repairing its arm.
Hopefully that somebody is Ingrid.
Time to pay your favorite chief engineer another visit. Look around for something nice and light to tape to the tops of the organ pipes so you can tell when air comes out.
Strips of tissue paper would do it. Make sure you check out everything in Harlan's locker.
You may have an appointment with destiny and not even know it. It would sure be neat to read that letter you saw inside the carousel.
You just need something to knock it down with.
Head to the Midway and keep your eyes on the prize.